Part 56. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 552. Tao Ran didn't rush to get in the car and leave. Instead, he simply followed the reporter's greetings and started the interview. Facing the camera, she talked freely. The nature of this incident is too bad. The internet is not a place for spreading rumors at will. You can slander me personally, but even my charity has been maliciously speculated. Who else will do good deeds in the future? Therefore, I regard it as seeking justice for all the victims who have been spread rumors by internet trolls. This time, I don't want to let go of those who are behind the rumors. I want to make a sample and help clean the net. Taking this opportunity, using the camera and the media, I would like to say a few words to those behind the scenes. After the police find you out, I will not reconcile, nor will I back down. I will tell the truth to the end. You guys, wait for the summons, wait for the defendant. I'll leave it at that, and I will do what I say. Tao Ran left with peace of mind. She could find out that the person who spread the rumor was related to Miao Ziwai, which would be a piece of cake for the police, so she just had to go back and wait for the result. Halfway through, she received a call from Mr. Zhang again. It turned out that GXC was busy deleting posts and blocking accounts. When the police went to investigate, they found that all the accounts that spread rumors had been cleared away. Thanks to Zhang Yian's previous submission of a large amount of evidence, otherwise the case would not have been investigated at all. GXC's behavior greatly increased the complexity of the police's handling of the case. As a result, the unlucky GXC happened to hit the gunpoint of the police. Under the police's first reaction, GXC became their first suspect. Even if they have nothing to do with it, they are obstructing official business. In this way, GXC was invited by the police to cooperate with the investigation. Mr. Zhang, please understand. I can't help it. Anyway, as long as it's not GXC's doing, the one who cleans himself will clean himself up, and you have nothing to worry about. Having said that, KGXC was naturally unhappy to be involved in this kind of thing for no reason. Needless to say, the only unlucky one will be Liang Cheng. When Tao Ran returned to the studio and opened Weibo again, those wild remarks had long since disappeared. And the video of her in front of the police station has already made it to Hot 1. Cleaning up the internet is a current event and is a request from the higher UPS this year. After she cued it in public, the internet naturally responded. Therefore, in addition to some media outlets that had previously spoken out for her, many official media outlets have also left. While asking to clean up the trend on the internet, he praised her for doing a good job. Tao Ran just pretended that he didn't know who did it and just waited quietly for the news. That night, Sister Zhen brought back a message. An acquaintance in GXC told me. It was said that Liang Cheng fell in the bathroom today and was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment after he came out. It was his broken finger bone. He said he did it accidentally, but the whole GXC felt it was not simple. Tao Ran guessed at once that Wang Beilei was probably responsible for this. She guessed correctly. Liang Cheng finished an activity in the afternoon, and as soon as he entered the bathroom, there was a man in black and sunglasses behind him. He was startled, but after seeing the man clearly, he broke into a cold sweat. This person is Wang Beilei's bodyguard. I told you a long time ago that if you dare to involve Director Wang in your bad things again, your legs will be ruined. Obviously you are a person who doesn't have a long memory and lessons. So Director Wang asked me to help you. Just as Liang Cheng was about to scream, his mouth was covered and thrown to the ground. If you dare to scream, I'll knock your teeth out first. Liang Cheng sat on the ground and cried, begging to be let go. Don't worry, Director Wang has spoken. Your face can still make money for the time being, so don't move. I'll keep your legs for the time being. So. The bodyguard directly grabbed his hand, grabbed his little finger, and gave it a hard squeeze. I hope you can remember this lesson. Again, Mr. Wang doesn't want to be involved in any of your bad things again. If you do it again, not only your other fingers, but also your legs will not be able to be saved next time. The other party left without even listening to his explanation. Liang Cheng rolled to the ground, and finally took an ambulance to the hospital. Even then, he was scolded by Mr. Lei and the others. He said he didn't use his brain, but it was just a broken finger. Did he need an ambulance? Are you making such a big fuss because you are afraid that others in the company will not know about it? Liang Cheng felt wronged. Is there really no justice in this world? After coming out of the hospital, Liang Cheng quickly thought of Miao Ziyawai and called him to question him about what happened online today. Miao Ziyawai refused to admit it, but he could hear her guilt. The furious Liang Cheng couldn't explain clearly to her on the phone, so he could only ask her to speak out. Miao Ziyawai did not want to be questioned and told her that she was worried about her children and refused to go out at night. Liang Cheng had no choice but to disguise himself and quietly rush to Miao Ziyawai's residence overnight. Are you crazy? Liang Cheng pushed Sanner to the ground as soon as they met. The fact is that Miao Ziyawai still doesn't think so until now. Liang Cheng, you pushed me? You are so cruel. I stood up for you and you hit me. Beat me because of that woman? My feelings for you. Shut up, Liang Cheng was furious. At this moment, is this woman still thinking about love? Don't you know you're going to be in trouble soon? Is there shit in your head? What are you afraid of? There are a lot of rumors spread on the internet. If those celebrities are serious about the black materials, they will be busy. Anyway, I'm not afraid. They won't really sue me, don't worry. The most I can do is write an apology online. It's over. Miao Ziyawai grabbed her wrist that was red from being thrown. It hurts so much. It's true that Liang Cheng has a headache. It hurts. Do you feel as much pain as me? Liang Cheng showed his finger that had been fixed. Did you see it? What you did has already been repaid to me. This is just the beginning. Being beaten. Zhang Lan, Miao Ziyawai was startled and rushed up to see, but Liang Cheng hooked the chair and kicked it away from Miao Ziyawai. I've suffered so much at Zhang Yian's hands, why do you think you can get an advantage? She is more vicious than you think. If you offend her this time, she won't let it go. She is a lunatic who can donate 8 million in one night, who can jump from the second floor with only a safety rope for a stage, and who is willing to dig holes and defraud money in order to deal with me. Do you think she can forgive her? Someone who maliciously slandered her? Miao Ziyawai was a little scared. Isn't this all just to vent my anger? She defrauded you of so much money, and I'm really angry. Now that I've done it, what else can I do? At the worst, I can just let her sue me, and the most she can do is lose some money. What else can be done? Liang Cheng almost knelt down. This woman usually looks very smart, why is she so stupid now? What am I worried about? What I'm afraid of is that once you surface, you will be investigated, people will pay attention to you, and then your relationship will be revealed. By then, all my efforts will be in vain. My future is also ruined. Do you understand? Miao Ziyawai was stunned for 10 seconds, now she was really scared. Liang Cheng's money had been taken away by that woman. Now was the time to make money. It would be a big loss for her if her future was cut off now. Compared with marrying him, it is obviously more important to stabilize this cash cow now. Then, what should we do? Now, tell me exactly how you operate it. How else can it be done? Naturally, I make up the story myself first, and then spend money to promote it through marketing accounts. The reason why I posted the post on the forum first and then moved it is because that website does not require real name authentication. Don't worry, when I moved the post to Weibo, I had already deleted the original post. They couldn't find it? I also bought the account used for the transfer, and it wasn't bound to a mobile phone number. So they couldn't find it? Just log in. The account on the forum is also a Penguin account. My cousin has not used it for a long time, and all the content in it has been deleted. Meowziawai still had some luck. So, they shouldn't be able to find me here. Liang Cheng had eaten a few more years of rice and studied for a few more days than her, so he naturally didn't think so. Once the internet police take action, your little tricks will be nothing. How could it not be discovered? Looking for your cousin. Liang Cheng immediately had an idea after hearing this. Since the penguin belongs to her, let her take over. Ask her for help. She doesn't have the same surname as you, so don't be afraid at all. No one will check her 18th generation ancestry. So no one will know about the relationship between you. Relationship between. Tell her that if she is accused, we will pay all the money for going to court, we will pay all the compensation, and we will give her another compensation. The police will definitely find you, so call her now and ask her to come to the capital. Don't take a plane, just charter a car. Then tell her that she has been living with you for a month. You move out of here immediately and say she is your tenant. She had some mental problems because she couldn't find a job. When she saw Zhang Lan, who was similar to her age, so successful, she became jealous and made random speculations. She drank some wine yesterday and then talked nonsense on the internet. As long as she is honest and pitiful enough, maybe Zhang Lan will forgive her. Yes, when the time comes, let her beg Zhang Lan to record a video and post it online. Isn't Zhang Lan a philanthropist? You have to give this poor woman a chance, right? Just do it. When the call came out, my cousin was confused. I don't want to do this. My cousin is a serious housewife who has never seen the world. If she is asked to support her, she may have to go to court. Isn't this frightening? I won't. If I go to court, I won't speak. You just have to do what I say. It's easy. There are lawyers even when you go to court. You don't have to do anything. I'm scared. Sister, help me, I'll give you 100,000 yuan. Forget it, forget it. 200,000, fixed price. You don't have to do anything. When you come here, food and accommodation are all included. I still have to go to work. I will subsidize your salary. If you come and stay for a while, I will give you 3 times your salary. The boss won't allow me to take leave. If I want to leave, I will definitely be fired. I'll give you another 50,000 yuan. Soon, the price was increased to 300,000. But my cousin hasn't agreed yet. Why? My brother-in-law won't let me. Ziawai is dating a big star. She lives in a villa in the capital. She drives a Deben. I heard that her man can earn millions on a show. If something happens now, he may have to go to court to give it to you. 300,000? Are you stupid? You think of her as a cousin, but what about her? If she uses your account when she does bad things, why doesn't she use her own? It shows how evil she is. Litigation can take a long time. What if it drags on for a year and a half? You have to listen to me on this matter. So, my cousin offered a price of 1 million. Meowziawai burst into tears, and the price was reduced to 800,000. My cousin also asked to take her husband and son to Beijing, but there was no time. Liang Cheng could only agree. So, her cousin chartered a car to Beijing overnight, and Meowziawai moved away temporarily with her son. 800,000, of course it came from Liang Cheng. Finally, I still had some money left in my hand, so I just left half of it. As soon as Liang Cheng went to work the next day, the company sent him a notice, urging him to quickly pay back the 2 million the company had advanced to him a week ago. Liang Cheng didn't want to give money. Even if his finger was broken, he could only go to work according to the full itinerary. My cousin arrived in Beijing early in the morning, and in the afternoon, the police followed the address and came to her door. After more than 10 hours of rehearsal, my cousin had already become proficient in her lines. She then went to the police station and confessed, saying that she was willing to apologize publicly and write a letter of admission and apology. She felt unhappy and would definitely change her past. Barabara. After receiving the call from the police station, Taoran didn't show her face and only asked Xioxia to go there and convey her attitude that she refused to mediate and wanted to prosecute to the end. At the same time, she also liked the official blog of the local police station, praising them for their efficient handling of cases and for having identified the slanderers. She also expressed her attitude on Weibo to continue pursuing the case, and received a lot of support. The cousin was placed in temporary administrative detention, and the court accepted the case. The cousin-in-law was so anxious that Miao Zihui gave him another 100,000 yuan to temporarily calm him down. With the help of Guang Guang, this matter did not become a major issue. Instead, it became a social event, which was reported by many mainstream media and even made the news on national television. This matter is getting bigger and bigger, and there is no end in sight. My cousin-in-law was unhappy. He began to worry that his wife would go to jail. He also looked online and found that the internet was full of wife-swearing comments. The sound was overwhelming and terrifying. This has spread so much that I won't be able to see anyone when I go back to my hometown. My son was not happy either. How will he face his classmates in the future? This is too embarrassing. Seeing his mother being scolded, he went to the internet to defend himself, but many radical netizens greeted the whole family. His little heart was stimulated, and he was so angry that he couldn't stop crying, which made his cousin-in-law even more unhappy. My cousin was also scared. She has always been honest, so why was she placed in administrative detention? Why did you end up in prison? Why was the claim filed? Why should Zhang Lan be compensated for damage to her reputation? How come Guang Guang, the sister program team, Luo Jiao, and others all filed lawsuits against her? This was naturally what Taoran requested. She wanted to make a big fuss, so she mobilized the victims who were also programmed into the rumor. It attracted the attention of the authorities and netizens, and this wave of traffic was not wasted. Therefore, the sister program team, director Luo Jiao, the crew who had just finished filming, etc., who were also stigmatized, filed a lawsuit together. With such high popularity and the name of justice, why not do it? My cousin's hands were shaking when she got the stack of indictments. Every lawsuit requires her to pay compensation and apologize. How many people have been offended and how much compensation will be required? She found Miao Zihui, I won't do it. I won't go to court. If you can't settle it, I will tell the police officers that they have detained the wrong person. No, it is also a crime for you to take the blame. You will also be detained and prosecuted. Miao Zihui deliberately frightened her cousin. No, if I confess, leniency can reduce the punishment. Miao Zihui was stunned. Why was her cousin so smart this time? 2 chapters in 1. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 553. Taoran's recent announcement was merciless, and she could only take a look at Liang Cheng and Miao Zihui's affairs after dinner. Liang Cheng has been equally busy these days. Because GXC was squeezing him harder than before, giving him almost any bad job. As long as he gives money, platter performances, micro-business advertisements, shopping mall performances, local appointment visits, and ribbon cutting in barber salons are all arranged for him. He himself had to be active. Not only because GXC pressed him hard to pay back the money, but also because there were several lawsuits to come and he would face several claims. He couldn't ignore this matter. He is a little nihilistic. How long has this been going on? He is either raising money to repay, or on the way to raising money to repay. He worked extremely hard, but conservatively estimated that the money he earned would not reach his pocket until next month. But what can he do? He had to collect the possible compensation before the verdict was handed down. Of course, he also tried taking shortcuts and wanted to contact some of the employers he had interacted with before, but he didn't know if those people had already received the news and faced him. Everyone tried to avoid his overtures. On the other side, Taoran thought that she would never have any face-to-face contact with Liang Cheng and the others until the court session. Unexpectedly, on this day, an uninvited guest came to the door. Taoran burst out laughing. It was Miao Ziyi who came to the door. Somewhat unexpected. What is she here to do? Beg for mercy? Surrender? Impossible. Taoran thought for a while and didn't understand. Take care of her? Soldiers come to cover up the water and earth, and when you enter your own door, you naturally have the final say. She originally planned to wait until the court session and start with her cousin, but now that the sheep is coming to her door, if she doesn't do something, how can she be sorry for this opportunity that falls from the sky? Taoran whispered to Zioxia, and this time, it was Zioxia who burst into laughter. Miao Ziyi had no choice. Her cousin's whole family is giving up their jobs. My cousin was an honest person, and the detention frightened her. She misses her husband and children, and is even more afraid of a lawsuit. She can no longer hold on. My cousin-in-law was also scared. This is not one lawsuit, but defendants in several lawsuits. Among them were listed companies and local TV stations. How could he afford to offend those people? In the past 2 days, when he went out to buy things, he always felt like someone was following him. If his wife took the blame, she wouldn't be retaliated against later, right? He secretly discussed this matter with his best brother, who advised him to get out of it quickly. Have you never seen that kind of movie? There are people behind those big companies. If you hinder them from making money, they will definitely want to unlucky. Brother, I advise you not to risk your life for money. My cousin's son is also making a fuss, saying that he doesn't want his mother to be involved in a lawsuit, saying that today's netizens are all about human flesh, and that their whole family will be unable to hold their heads high in the future, and his good life will be ruined. As a result, my cousin's family all asked to leave. Miao Ziyi was panicked. If my cousin can't handle it, not only will she be sued, but she will also be charged with contempt for finding someone to blame, right? She doesn't want to go in. She could only beg her cousin and her family while threatening them that they would go to jail for covering up the crime. In the end, the cousin and his family relented. As long as she found a way to get Zhonglan and those companies to withdraw the lawsuit and settle the case, they would support her for the sake of money. Miao Ziyi asked a lawyer to find a way to negotiate a settlement. After asking around, the lawyer told him that the main focus of the matter now lies on Zhonglan. Only if Zhonglan nods proactively can it be possible for other parties to withdraw the lawsuit and let her find a solution on Zhonglan. Miao Ziyi also approached Liang Cheng. But recently Liang Chengdu was out of town catching up on an announcement and couldn't come back. He just told her that if she didn't want to drink Northwest Wind with him in the future, she would have to find a way on her own. Miao Ziyi, who was forced by her cousin and cousin-in-law, almost racked her brains. No, she finally had an idea. She paid money to contact scalpers to get Zhang Yian's itinerary. Today, she confirmed that Zhonglan had returned to the studio, so she appeared in disguise. Wearing a wig, hat, sunglasses, and a mask, she appeared at the front desk of Zhang Yian's studio, specifying that she was looking for Zioxia. In fact, Zioxia knew that she had come to the studio, and also knew that she had been wandering downstairs of the studio for 5 minutes. Because during this period, their people have been following Miao Ziyi and her cousin's family. They had received the news early that Miao Ziyi had left her son in a kindergarten early in the morning and followed them all day. Originally they didn't understand what Miao Ziyi was going to do, but now that she showed up, they didn't have to worry about guessing anymore. Zioxia went to the front desk. Miao Ziyi, who had never seen her true face, said, "I'm looking for Zhang Lan." "Who are you?" Zioxia asked with a smile on her chest. "It doesn't matter. You just need to know that I am the one who can help her." "Oh. Zioxia was laughing to death. "Zhang Lan, I won't see you." She turned around and left. Miao Ziyi was anxious and could only block her. Zioxia ignored her, and Miao Ziyi had no choice but to reach out and grab her. "Ah! What are you doing?" Zioxia folded her arms and cried sadly. Miao Ziyi stood in front of her and raised her chin. "I told you to find Zhang Lan. I have important things to do. If she is interested in anything, I want to find her. You said you wanted to find it, but I have to find it for you. Who are you? You don't even show your face." Zioxia deliberately made her angry. "It's her loss if she doesn't see me. I advise you to call her out quickly. This is a studio. If you dare to be arrogant, believe it or not, I will call the police." Zioxia expected that Miao Ziyi had not achieved her goal and would not give up. "I thought she would act up, but I didn't expect it." Miao Ziyi took out an envelope from her bag with photos inside. "I think Zhang Lan will be interested in this. What do you think?" "For it." What Miao Ziyi took was Liang Cheng's photo. It was a photo of Liang Cheng coming out of a KTV with a woman he had never seen before. Judging from the cool clothes of the characters inside, it must have been taken in summer. Zioxia raised her eyebrows, but she didn't expect that Miao Ziyi also had something to do with Liang Cheng. Laughing to death, really dying of laughter. So Sanur came to the palace to show off his power with Sier's photo? Is there any more heavenly justice? It would be unjust to not deal with such a person. Although Zioxia felt it was funny, she still didn't show it on her face. She could only keep a straight face and look serious. Miao Ziyi saw it and felt proud. She originally wanted to talk to Zhang Lan directly, but now that the studio is full of Zhang Yian's people, she changed her mind. "Tell Zhang Lan that I will be waiting for her in the cafe on the first floor of the building next door in half an hour. In public places, people come and go, which is safer for yourself." Little did he know that Tao Ran was sitting in front of the surveillance camera at this time, smiling and seeing everything. "This surveillance video is well taken, keep it for future use." She decided to simply pack up the fish that jumped into the net bag in advance. Half an hour later, Tao Ran adjusted his working hours and went to the appointment on time. In the corner of the cafe, Miao Ziyi had taken off her mask, ordered coffee and an entire luxurious afternoon tea set, and was enjoying her food with great pride. Tao Ran, he. Want to pay for yourself? Then she will have to pay the price this time. Tao Ran, who was also dressed in sunglasses and a mask, followed Zioxia and walked over. "Are you looking for me? Who are you? What do you want to do?" Tao Ran asked 3 times in a row. "Sit down." Miao Ziyi turned her back on guests. "What to drink? I'm not thirsty. Hurry up and get to the point." Miao Ziyi looked at Zioxia. "Back off." Zioxia vomited a handful of fragrance in her heart. "Come on, little boy, you will cry soon." At Tao Ran's signal, Zioxia went to a table by the window 10 meters away. "Tao Ran, let's get straight to the point. I have what you want in my hand." Miao Ziyi pushed up the glasses that had blocked half of her face, feeling secretly proud. Zhang Lan, an idiot, never imagined that the woman sitting in front of her would soon replace her. "Let me take a look at things." Miao Ziyi took out an envelope. Tao Ran opened it and there were 3 photos inside. One was taken outside the KTV that Zioxia saw, and the other two were of a drunk Liang Chen being helped into the car by a woman. Do you recognize the person in the photo? He's your husband. Miao Ziyi stared at Chaoran's expression. It's just an ordinary party photo. What's wrong? Chaoran noticed the intense stare of the person opposite him. Although he didn't know the intention, he still followed her lead and showed a bit of panic. Every celebrity has this kind of photo, right? Stop quibbling. Miao Ziyi was very satisfied with Chaoran's reaction. How do you know it's just an ordinary party? How do you know if there will be any follow-up after getting in the car? Maybe I have a photo with a more shocking scale. You have. No one dares to call you out. Where did these photos come from? Miao Ziyi snatched the photo from Chaoran's hand and put it into her bag again. It doesn't matter where it comes from. What matters is that I think you are interested. Oh, Chaoran couldn't react for a moment. What was Miao Ziyi's plan? I heard that you are in a divorce lawsuit with Liang Chen. You two have a lot of property, you should still be fighting for it, right? But if he is the fault party, you can get more money, right? So I think I have photos can help you. Chaoran wanted to laugh. Obviously, Miao Ziyi still didn't know that she and Liang Chen had not only divided their property but also finalized their divorce, but they had not announced it to the public. Chaoran guessed that Liang Chen would not tell Miao Ziyi about this easily, but he didn't expect that this woman was drunk by Liang Chen, and she still hasn't counted yet. This was a mistake. Well done. You just said you have other photos. Are you interested? Miao Ziyi opened her phone and posted a photo. It was a photo of Liang Chen sleeping with his upper body exposed, and a woman lying next to him. The woman's face was mosaic. If you are interested, I can give you the original image of this photo. No mosaic, no retouching, high definition. What about the conditions? Didn't you sue someone recently? That person is my friend's hometown. If you withdraw the lawsuit and settle the matter, the photo will be yours. It's simple, right? If you use the high-definition photo to negotiate with Liang Chen, you can divide a lot of property, which is enough to make up for it. This incident has hurt you. But on the other hand, if you don't want such a photo, it would be embarrassing for you if it were leaked, wouldn't it? At that time, it will still be you and Coco who will be hurt. This is what Miao Ziyi thought of. What she said was half true and half false. These three photos are real. She had a conflict with Liang Chen the year before last. She suspected that there was another woman around Liang Chen, so she hired a private detective to follow him for a while and took pictures. That's all that can be photographed. Where did she get the boat photo? The photo she showed Zhonglan was taken casually when she and Liang Chen were lying together. So the face in the mosaic is her own. Just used to deceive Zhonglan. If Liang Chen becomes a bad actor, what good will it do to him? She was crazy to show Liang Chen's ugly photos to this bad woman. As Zhonglan said, these three photos are just party photos at best. Even if they were leaked to her, there would be no need for public relations, and they would not have any impact on Liang Chen. Because of this, Miao Ziyi took these photos and went fishing with confidence. With her mosaic photo, she believed that Zhonglan would take the bait. Even if it wasn't for the sake of dividing the property, even if it wasn't for her own face, she still had to do it for the sake of her children, right? Chaoran also quickly figured out Miao Ziyi's plan. Tisk tisk, she thought she was fishing, but she probably never thought that she was also a fish, right? Chaoran adjusted his mentality of not taking things too seriously at this moment, took a deep breath, and exhaled heavily. Later, in Miao Ziyi's eyes, she looked a little depressed and helpless, a little depressed as she endured the humiliation and burden. And the more she behaved like this, the more arrogant Miao Ziyi became. How about it? My proposal can only be good for you. She took a sip of coffee, rolled her fingers and ate some snacks, and also called the waiter to pack some signature snacks for her. She was so arrogant, but Zhonglan could only lower her head and bite her lip and frown. I promise. Very good. After you withdraw the lawsuit, I will give you these 3 photos first. After you and my friend finish the mediation at the police station, I will give you the high-definition photos you want. Miao Ziyi thought about it. As soon as her cousin reaches a mediation agreement with her, she will arrange for her cousin to disappear immediately to avoid the limelight. In order to reassure Zhonglan, she even took the initiative to leave a phone number. Of course, it was her new account with a fake real name. The waiter brought the packaged snacks, and when Miao Ziyi went to pick them up, Taoran suddenly stood up and stretched out his hand to grab her mobile phone. Show me again. Miao Ziyi was startled and stood up suddenly. The chair made a creaking sound, attracting the attention of those around her. At the same time, her cell phone also fell on the table. She was afraid that the phone would fall into Zhang Yian's hands, so she pushed Zhonglan away first. Zhonglan came to grab it again, but failed to catch the phone, but accidentally scanned Miao Ziyi's face. Miao Ziyi's sunglasses fell off. And because the 2 men moved their hands too much, the water glass in front of Zhonglan also slipped out. A glass of water was poured all over Zhonglan. The cup fell to the ground and shattered. When Miao Ziyi saw so many people looking at her, she hurriedly prepared to leave. She only said one sentence: as long as you withdraw the lawsuit and mediate as I said, I will give you all the photos in my hand. Otherwise, you will bear the consequences. Saying that, Miao Ziyi hurriedly grabbed her glasses and mask, not forgetting to take the packed snacks, and left quickly. However, Taoran's whole body seemed to have been drained of energy. He didn't know whether he failed to stand still or if his foot slipped, and he fell to the ground. Seeing her fall, a kind person from the next table quickly came to check. Are you okay? Come on, get up quickly. Someone helped pick up Taoran's cell phone from the ground. Why did the illuminated screensaver look so familiar? Zhonglan and Coco? You actually used the photo of this mother and daughter as a screensaver? Huh? What's wrong? The man looked at his phone, then at the woman in front of him who was wearing sunglasses but had an extraordinary bearing. Are you Zhonglan? Sorry, I originally wanted to bring out Taoran's plan, but the word count has already exceeded 200. Any more words will cost extra coins, so I can only share it with the next chapter. One final blow, babies. Moi. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 554. Are you Zhonglan? As soon as the sentence came out, not only the nearby customers who had just attracted their attention, but to be precise, everyone in the entire cafe, including the bar counter and the lady at the checkout, also came running over. Zhonglan. Superstar. It's the sister who overcame all obstacles. It's true. For a moment, the sound of cell phone shooting was like a press conference, and it kept ringing. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet a big star so close. But why did she fall to the ground? Why is he covered in water? What's with the glass shards on the ground? And looking at Zhang Yian's embarrassed, decadent, painful and unconscious look, it was obvious that something had happened. Someone secretly commented that an arrogant woman had just pushed Zhonglan and smashed the cup. Taoran glanced at her, and Zioxia also appeared at the right time. While protecting Zhonglan, who was trembling all over, she was filled with indignation. Why are your hands so cold? What did that woman say to you? Where did she get that face? These 3 questions made all the people watching the excitement even more amazed and talking. Someone really had a dispute with Zhonglan just now. Who's that person? Zhonglan is so good, who is so bad? How dare someone dare to do it directly in public? Others thought of the photo of Zhonglan slapping Liang Cheng's assistant that was widely circulated on the internet last time. Could it be because of Liang Cheng again this time? But Zhonglan was so strong last time, why is he so collapsed today? The Zhonglan in front of her seemed to have suffered a huge blow. Her eyes were confused and red, and she was still holding back tears. Why did she look so pitiful? It can be seen from Zhonglan on the stage that she is not a fragile person, but a very resilient person. What could be the thing that could break a strong woman? And her assistant actually shed 2 lines of tears. Someone could tell from the shape of her mouth that she was scolding a scumbag. Someone asked, "Should I call the police?" This time, Zhonglan responded quickly and shouted no, which seemed to be a big taboo, which aroused everyone's speculation. The assistant wanted to help Zhonglan leave, but the waiter stood in front of them with an embarrassed look. "Sorry, I haven't paid the bill yet." "Zioxia, how much?" "The total is 3,260. "How many?" The waiter repeated it again. "Be good." Everyone was stunned. The bill was too high. This is a cafe. Really? The lady who left ordered our store's limited edition Master Champion coffee as soon as she arrived. It is a gold medal winning bean and the most expensive in our store, costing RMB 580 a cup. The lady also packed away 2 pounds of premium coffee beans. The price is 2,000–3,000. Including a set of luxurious afternoon tea and snacks packed away by the lady, the bill is here. The broken cup is not included. Zioxia gritted her teeth, scanning the QR code to pay, and said bitterly, "That woman is really the most shameless vixen I have ever seen." Taoran shook his head listlessly, "Stop talking." Zioxia's nose twitched and she whispered, "We've already come to the door, how can we keep it a secret?" In the end, Zhonglan was helped out of the cafe by Zioxia and the clerk. After she left, the cafe exploded. "I heard it all. The vixen who came to your door." So, as expected, it was Liang Cheng who caused the romantic debts outside. "Shameless, shameless," Zhonglan ordered a glass of boiled water. The vixen couldn't eat it and kept walking. The main wife was so angry that she was half dead and even asked the main wife to foot the bill. This was probably the most arrogant fox in history, right? Once again, the phone kept ringing. Even that bill was photographed by many people. This time, Miao Ziawai came to the door by herself, so Taoran didn't need to be polite and started her attack directly. Now, half an hour later, what happened in the cafe has spread online. The photos taken by the witnesses and what they saw and heard have been forwarded by multiple marketing accounts, and the popularity is rising unstoppably. Of course, Taoran's support is indispensable. In particular, they also arranged for a video to be circulated, pretending that it was exposed by the paparazzi who had been following Zhonglan and wanted to catch information. The video is very complete. When Zhonglan went to the cafe for an appointment, the evil girl responded arrogantly, giving photos and showing her mobile phone. The whole process of Zhang Yian's collapse was clear. Soon, the entire internet was speculating, what photos did Miao Ziawai show to Zhonglan, and what was on her phone that caused Zhonglan to collapse step by step. The phone in the studio started ringing non-stop, with people from all over the place asking about Zhang Yian's condition. In the top 10 hot searches, Zhang Yian's story quickly accounted for 2. But even so, Zhang Lanfang didn't give any explanation. The more they say nothing, the more they acquiesce, making the matter more serious. In order to cooperate with this attack, Taoran specifically asked Sister Zhen to help, suspended all her work for the rest of the day, and refused to respond to any media. In this way, anyone who looks at her Zhonglan will be hit hard. Taoran has been waiting in front of the computer for the incident to unfold, for marketing accounts to use their imaginations, and for all kinds of stories to fly everywhere. People on the internet are speculating on the identity of the vixen. But the woman covered her face the whole time, except when she was hit by Zhonglan, and her sunglasses fell off for 2 seconds. Someone took a screenshot of those 2 seconds, but couldn't see the face clearly. A group of netizens began to look for clear photos among the photos exposed by eyewitnesses. Soon, a master found a very high-definition photo of a woman's true face. That photo started spreading all over the internet. Needless to say, it was Taoran who did it. At this time, Miao Ziyi called from the mobile phone number she gave Taoran. "Please help me clarify, we still have a deal to do, so don't let this matter ferment." Liang Cheng also panicked and called, but pretended to be calm. "What's going on? Please clarify. Why do you blame me for everything? If things get too big, it will be bad for us and Coco." Taoran, on the other hand, called Yao Sisi, his former assistant who had long been forgotten by Liang Cheng. "Sisi, it's time for you to play. I've kept this card for long enough, and now I have this opportunity to play it out." After Taoran's scare last time, Yao Sisi, who was jealous of Liang Cheng, firmly stood on Taoran's side. Liang Cheng, on the other hand, was relieved when Yao Sisi stopped pestering her and thought she had given up. He quietly asked someone to check Yao Sisi's information, and after confirming that she had bought a ticket back to her hometown, he was completely relieved of her. So Yao Sisi, who had disappeared for 2 months, suddenly appeared aggressively, and Liang Cheng was confused. Yao Sisi used her previously authenticated Weibo account and directly posted the photo of Miao Ziyi that is currently the most discussed online. There are some things I really don't want to say. As Liang Cheng's former assistant, after seeing the set of videos circulating on the internet today, I really can't help but feel sorry for Ms. Zhonglan. Today, I am willing to stand up and answer your questions while also exposing the true colors of some bad men and women. The woman in the photo below is Liang Cheng's third son, her real name is Miao Ziyi, her hometown is XXX, she is 28 years old, and she gave birth to an illegitimate child for Liang Cheng 4 years ago. After Liang Cheng became pregnant, he bought a villa for her in District XX on the outskirts of Beijing. The villa was signed by her third son, Miao Ziyi. This is Yao Sisi's first Weibo post. It was like a thunder on the ground, causing the internet to boil instantly. What? Illegitimate child? 4 years old? Really? Yao Sisi? They know. Assistant Liang Cheng, the one who was slapped by Zhonglan before. It stands to reason that she should know everything about Liang Cheng's private life. But shouldn't she be on the opposite side of Zhonglan? How can I help Zhonglan speak now? Love turns into hate? Or really can't stand it? Mom, it feels like there are so many melons. The melon-eating crowd squatted on the front line, running around under Yao Sisi, Liang Cheng, and Zhang Yian's Weibo. Yao Sisi deliberately stopped for 20 minutes, giving the powerful netizens enough time to pick up Miao Ziyi. Soon, people started to appear who said they knew the people in the photos. Some netizens even picked out Miao Ziyi from a graduation photo on some school website and confirmed that her name, hometown, age, and appearance all matched. The 3 words Miao Ziyi instantly became a hot word and topped the hot searches. Of course, Miao Ziyi always thought that she would be on the hot search list because she married Liang Cheng. She never expected that it would happen in this way. Miao Ziyi's past began to be exposed in various ways, and she was scolded so much that the coffin boards of her ancestors might not be able to hold it down. Social death was Taoran's first blow to Miao Ziyi. In the plot, they made Zhonglan bear the name of mental illness, which was difficult to clean up, and suffered torture and punishment, which was tantamount to a kind of social death. So, they have to pay it back in a similar way. In the plot, Miao Ziyi came to Zhang Yian's door. But this time, she took the initiative to come to the door. But the results have been very different. She was so proud in the plot, but now Taoran wants her to regret the decision she made today forever, and live in this regret and wrongdoing forever. She asked for it all. Yao Cici's second Weibo post also came. As Liang Cheng's former agent, I am very ashamed. I know most of the things between Liang Cheng and Miao Ziyi. I also know that Liang Cheng always likes to have fun. This makes me feel ashamed every time I face Ms. Zhang Lan. In the previous slapping incident, everyone misunderstood me. I was not Sanur, but Ms. Zhang Lan. After noticing Liang Cheng's behavior, she was too angry at my concealment and cover-up, so she beat me in public. I think I should fight. I can't help Ms. Zhang Lan. So here, I apologize to Ms. Zhang Lan again. Hope to get your forgiveness. I am willing to take responsibility for everything I say. Yao Cici loved Zhang Lan and also loved Liang Cheng. Because Liang Cheng deleted a large amount of content on my mobile phone after forcing me to resign, all the evidence has been lost. But 4 years of evidence will always slip through the net. Liang Cheng, please take care of yourself. The following is my response to what I just said. Prove it. Below is a series of photos and screenshots of the 9-square grid. Picture 1 shows Liang's parents, Liang's mother, and Sanur's mother and son taking a group photo at the airport when they went on a trip the year before last. Yao Cici sent the old couple to the airport to help take a commemorative photo, which is stored in her old mobile phone. Picture 2 is a photo of the receipt recorded after Miao Ziyi purchased a villa and Yao Cici accompanied her to the bank to make the payment. Pictures 3, 4, 5, and 6 are several chat records. Some of them are when Miao Ziyi cannot contact Liang Cheng and ask her about Liang Cheng's movements, some are when Liang Cheng asks her to rent a house in Ziyi's name, some are about children getting vaccinated, shopping, etc. All the transfer details were stored in Yao Cici's old mobile phone. Picture 7 is a WeChat screenshot of Liang Chengshuang asking Yao Cici and Miao Ziyi to lie about having jobs, but they actually went to the club to hang out. Picture 8 is a photo of Liang Cheng wearing a big hat and holding his illegitimate son, followed by Miao Ziyi, in a foreign country. Picture 9 is a photo of Liang Cheng hugging a woman who is not Miao Ziyi or Zhang Lan. Originally, when Yao Cici's first Weibo post was posted, some people questioned the veracity of the words of the former assistant who was fired by GXC. But the moment these posts were posted, Liang Cheng was completely beaten to death. He wasn't even given a chance to stand up and struggle. Wow, they are all hammers. Bank records, payment records, hotel records, airline records, transfer records, these frauds will lead to jail time. In less than 10 minutes, Liang Cheng was scolded and became a hot search topic. So this guy, who is usually a scumbag, pretends to be a good father and a good husband, and looks like a slave to his daughter, but in fact it's all just a disguise. Not only does he have 3, but he also has 4, 5, and 6. He looks like a dog and lives a life of 3 wives and 4 concubines. It's so shameless. His parents didn't know how to control him, and they were smiling happily while holding their grandson. Sure enough, he had his mother's son and not his father's guidance. Still buying a villa? Does that money count as a transfer of marital property? According to Yao Cici, Zhang Lan didn't expose him before, but gave him a chance, but he actually let Sanur come to him. I'm really angry. He died so early in the morning, yet there is still such a wicked thing. Liang Cheng was confused by the series of unexpected events. He wanted to do public relations, but he had nowhere to start. Now he wanted to find Yao Cici, only to find that he couldn't contact the woman at all and had no idea where she was. Instead, GXC quickly issued an announcement stating that the company had no knowledge of Liang Cheng's actions, and posted that their relationship with Liang Cheng had long since changed and was now just a cooperative relationship contract, in an attempt to completely distance themselves from him. There is so much information that netizens are jumping up and down in a melon field. If they fail to understand one thing, they will fall into another one. As for Zhang Yan's Weibo, a large number of netizens flooded into it. They all encourage her. Entries such as "feeling sorry for Zhang Lan," "come on Zhang Lan be strong" appeared one after another. Seeing that the time was almost up, Tao Ran finally responded. Everything Yao Cixi said is true. Her first sentence was undoubtedly a bombshell. The woman who came to see me today is none other than Miao Ziyawai, the mother of Liang Cheng's illegitimate son. What could be more certain than her coming to hammer him in person? She took the initiative to come to me and provoke me, with only one purpose, to blackmail me. She was just lying, so what? Who can prove that what she said is false? She brought me in to made private photos of her and Liang Cheng, showed me photos of her and Liang Cheng's illegitimate child, and also showed me the unspeakable video of her and Liang Cheng on her phone. She said, if I don't take the photos of her, if she says it, she will make it public. No matter what she said, Miao Ziyawai couldn't prove that what she saw at that time was not these photos. This is her second blow, using lies to create slag. She just wants to use lies to ruin this couple. It is to let them taste the pain of not being able to prove themselves and being believed by no one. Just like in the plot, when they dealt with Zhang Lan, framed Zhang Lan, and sent Zhang Lan to a mental hospital, it was all lies from beginning to end. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 555. What Tao Ran gave was a long Weibo post. She has already perfected the entire story, so that all the questions of netizens can be answered. What she added below answered everyone's doubts. As previously posted on the internet, Liang Cheng and I have indeed changed our marriage. Miao Ziyawai was afraid that the division of our property would affect her interests, so she came to threaten me and ask for money. This is the purpose of her coming today. I knew that Liang Cheng was always dirty outside, but I didn't expect that he would have such an illegitimate child. As a mother, my first reaction was, what if my Keek knew that her favorite father was such a scumbag? At that moment, my world almost collapsed. So, this is the reason why I lost my composure. Until just now, I was still hesitating whether to agree to Miao Ziyawai's blackmail and remain silent for the sake of my child. On the contrary, Cixi's appearance made me suddenly feel relieved and made a happy choice. The secret was revealed, and then it feels so good to no longer have to cover up for a scumbag, no longer have to compromise, and no longer have to be timid and threatened. I accept Cixi's apology and thank Cixi for coming forward. Here, I also want to clarify that what Cixi said is true. The slap video that was filmed was because I found out that Liang Cheng had done it. Bad things are done impulsively. The reason why there is no explanation is because I can't explain it. I don't dare to reveal the ugliness of my life to the public, and I can't forgive the person who helped Liang Cheng deceive me at that time. Cixi. For this matter, I also apologize to Cixi. Finally, thank you for your concern, and I'm sorry for occupying public resources. I believe that evil people will be punished. I will stand up and fight for my due rights. I also believe that I can take good care of Coco in the future. Everyone come on for me. Thank you all and wish you all a happy life. The above is the entire response given by Tao Ran. If Yao Cixi had given them a hammer before, then Tao Ran's response was obviously to nail down the scandalous behavior of those two people and directly seal them up. Zhang Lan is generous and heartwarming, Liang Cheng is a disgusting scumbag, and Miao Ziyawai is shameless. All correspond. No wonder Zhang Lan does charity regardless of the cost. How would she be so hurt that she would rather give all her sincerity to strangers? No wonder there have been rumors that Zhang Lan suffers from depression. With such a disgusting man and such a despicable sanur, who wouldn't get sick from anger? No wonder some paparazzi said that Zhang Lan hadn't lived home for a long time, and Coco often lived with her in the studio. Thinking about it makes me feel sad. Who would want to go back to a home like that? Netizens were disgusted to the extreme when they thought of Liang Cheng's image as a good father and husband in the past, but now it was as if he had been fed shit. NND, listening to Zhang Yian's words, it was confirmed that the trash was someone who had been hanging around outside all year round and was used to it. Since he has 4,567 outside, he might have other illegitimate children. What kind of bad luck did it take to end up with this thing? And that woman, how could there be such a shameless person in the world? Destroy a family, know your best, give birth to an illegitimate child, extort your first wife, and yet you are so unashamed, so arrogant and powerful, so why are you going to pack it up? Still packing so much? She is worse than cat poop, so she still has the nerve to drink cat poop coffee? Miao Ziyi instantly refreshed many people's understanding of Sanur, and was dubbed the meanest Sanur in history in many people's hearts. So angry, so hateful, so unhappy, so unfair. I feel so sorry for Zhonglan and Coco. Such a good sister and such a well-behaved child, but I didn't expect that she would always be in the haze of life. Everyone immediately understood, no wonder Zhonglan has been retiring these years, no wonder she looked so haggard when she was photographed 2 years ago. She must have suffered too many grievances in these years. Fortunately, Zhonglan now stands up, puts into work, and shines brightly. The melon-eating crowd has been waiting, so as soon as Chaoran's Weibo was posted, so many people flooded in that many people could hardly open the page. Comments and likes accumulated quickly. Zhang Yian's Weibo account was filled with support messages such as Sister Zhonglan, we will always support you, stay away from scumbags, my sister is beautiful, Sister Zhonglan is the best, come on. The second is support my sister to fight for her rights, the scumbag must cleanse himself and leave the house, sue death of the third son who is shameless and dares to blackmail, request the property transferred by the scumbag to his son and Sanur and so on. Message. In addition, there were all messages on the official media of IT, demanding that Liang Cheng be blocked. In addition, some of the remaining fans have turned against Liang Cheng, netizens who did not like Zhonglan before and stepped on Zhonglan apologized. And Chaoran promised to clarify Yao Sisi and help her restore her reputation. In fact, Yao Sisi never left the capital, just waiting for this blow. From then on, not only did she have a clear conscience, but she also felt that she had been wronged and no longer had to be pointed at or scolded, so she could continue to hang out in this circle. At this moment, Liang Cheng originally had a live broadcast job, but because of the series of things, not only was he scolded by the brand, the job was cancelled and he was compensated for compensation, he was also kicked out without even arranging a car for him. GXC's assistant who followed him walked away after receiving a call from the company, leaving him alone. Liang Cheng could only take a taxi to the company. He was scrolling through Weibo in the car, but as soon as he opened Weibo, he would be stuck with thousands of private messages pouring in. He tried several times, but it always got stuck when he opened it, and got stuck when he opened it. However, there are still countless calls coming in, all from all kinds of strange mobile phone numbers that I have never seen before. As soon as he picked it up, he said, "Please lock yourself up with Miao Ziyi, the bastard, and don't come out to harm others again. I've been in love with you for so many years in vain. I've really given it to you sincerely. No matter how much I spent on you before, I'm going to spend as much on blackmailing you now. Trash, I'll scold you every time I get through it. You trash." All calls like this. Oh shit. Who the hell gave away his phone number? He is not a traffic person, so he still has an illegitimate life? Oh shit. What's going on? Why is his phone constantly receiving spam messages? Who is bombarding him with text messages? Do you believe he called the police? Liang Cheng is going crazy. He couldn't use his phone properly at all. He just wanted to take a closer look at how many bad things those bad women Yao Sisi and Zhonglan had said about him, and why was it so difficult. When he got excited, he spit out sweet things in the taxi and kicked the seat several times. The driver stopped him and got scolded by him. He asked the driver to borrow his mobile phone again, but the driver was unhappy with him and naturally refused. Liang Chen was so angry and anxious that he couldn't help but be violent. The driver got angry and saw the police station in front of him, so he simply drove in. At this time, Miao Ziyi was going crazy. I didn't show her the photo of Liang Cheng and me. I didn't tell her that Liang Cheng and I have a child. I didn't blackmail her. It's all nonsense. She's talking nonsense, she's spreading rumors. Miao Ziyi screamed in front of her cousin-in-law, but her cousin-in-law was afraid that if Miao Ziyi died, would he and his wife continue to help her? Money. You promised to give us another 300,000 yuan before, can you give it now? The cousin-in-law asked for money. Are you withdrawing money at this time? Yes, if you don't give it, we won't do it. If you don't do it, don't do it. Let's go in and squat together. Miao Ziyi roared. The whole family burst into tears. She really didn't give up and called her lawyer to prove herself and see if she could be rehabilitated. She was afraid, what would happen if Zhang Lan really sued her for blackmail? Lawyer, did you record your meeting with her? No. Miao Ziyi took the initiative to threaten Zhang Lan with Liang Cheng's photo. She had a guilty conscience, so how could she record her aggressive voice? That is to say, you can't prove what you said or discussed with her in the cafe. Is it blackmail or something else? Yes. You can't prove what's in your phone, and what are the photos you showed her? I don't have the photos she mentioned on my phone, I really don't. You have both the mobile phone and the photos in your hands. Just because you say you didn't have them now doesn't prove that you didn't have them in the cafe either. So you can't prove this either. The lawyer was already impatient. Then let me ask, what is the purpose of going to the coffee shop to interview Zhang Lan? I hope she. Miao Ziyi suddenly found herself unable to say anything. Say what? Tell the truth. Said that the reason why she went was to hope that Zhang Lan would drop the accusation against her cousin? Then, her relationship with her cousin will definitely be suspected, and then, I'm afraid the cousin's incident won't be able to cover it up. My cousin is already like a taut rubber band that may break at any time. This will definitely lead to trouble. It's over, it's over. By then, I'm afraid that not only will I not be able to get rid of the name of blackmail, I won't even be able to hide the fact that I was blamed. You don't want to go to jail, do you? Crazy. She is really going crazy. Now she is really just like the fish on the case, slaughtered at will. When the lawyer saw that she was silent, he knew that there must be something shady going on. Be mentally prepared. In that video, your various behaviors, attitudes, and expressions, especially the accurate recording of you using photos and mobile phones to make Zhang Lan collapse, plus all the abuses now exposed on the internet. The evidence against you means that once you are prosecuted, your chances of winning are very small. Can't you think of a way? I suggest you. The lawyer suddenly paused for 2 seconds before speaking, and then said, I suggest you check the internet now. New information has been exposed from Zhang Lan's studio. It was also a video sent by the studio. It was the video in which Miao Ziyi entered the studio madly, shouted at Zioxia at the front desk, attacked her, and showed her a photo, which made Zioxia extremely panicked. But this time, there is not only content, but also sound. Miao Ziyi was so arrogant that she asked Zioxia to call Zhang Lan out and tell her that she had something important to show Zhang Lan, otherwise she would regret everything she said. All these words were recorded. The studio's blog post is, our studio will fully support Ms. Zhang Lan in seeking legal means to seek justice. Miao Ziyi was completely stunned when she saw this Weibo post. The lawyer's voice floated from the phone, so, you don't have any self-evident evidence, but they not only have witnesses, but also solid evidence that you came to the door with a threatening tone. That Xioxia also saw the photo. Yes, she is Jong Ian's best witness against you for blackmail. While talking, the studio posted another Weibo post, this time it was a recording. Clicking on it, it was Miao Xiaowai who called Zhonglan not long ago to ask her to clarify Yao Cici's Weibo call, we still have transactions to do, don't let things ferment. Now it sounds like this is still a threat. And this transaction is also obvious to everyone, it is blackmail. This Weibo also revealed a piece of information. It is said that the mobile phone number Miao Xiaowai left for Zhonglan is also fake, which shows that Miao Xiaowai made sufficient preparations before coming to the door to ensure that she would not be held accountable. This made Zhonglan and everyone in their studio feel like they had a light on their backs. Without Yao Cici's testimony and the video evidence of enthusiastic netizens, they would not even have been able to expose Miao Xiaowai's blackmail. So they have entrusted a lawyer to hold Miao Xiaowai legally accountable. Miao Xiaowai's legs went weak. She couldn't escape the defendant after all. Lawyer Cai, can you help me think of a solution? That's what I want to say. I'm sorry, I can't help you. And I'm afraid I can't help you with the cases of the defendants you entrusted before. The lawyer avoided it. Please ask Gao Ming. This Miao Xiaowai is now a scourge. You can't accept additional money. None of these cases can be won. If you help fight them, you will not only lose, but you will also be scolded to death. Whoever picks up will be unlucky. The lawyer hung up the phone immediately. Miao Xiaowai asked another lawyer, but when he heard it was her, he immediately refused. Miao Xiaowai had no choice but to find Liang Cheng. However, Liang Cheng couldn't control her now, and he couldn't protect himself. It took him an hour to reconcile with the driver, apologize and pay, and then left the police station. When he rushed to the company handed him a contract and completely broke with him. Not only did he tell him that his salary would be frozen, but he also demanded 2 million in arrears and losses caused by him. The whole internet is scolding him. The parents of Keek's classmates said that he was completely irresponsible to Keek's classmates. The teacher of Keek's cram school posted on WeChat moments saying that he lost Keek once, which scared Zhonglan and called the police. Director Lu said, the reason why Zhonglan wants to participate in the sister show is that she hopes to overcome obstacles in real life and be herself again. The reputation of the whole network is one-sided, everyone is protecting Zhonglan and scolding him. Although the official media responded slowly and did not say anything, the brands, program teams, live broadcast studios, directors, screenwriters, media, production companies, and even stylists and makeup artists who had cooperated with him before all announced from now on, I will refuse any cooperation with Liang Cheng. On the internet, many people spontaneously began to boycott him. Even the dramas and variety shows he participated in before were not spared. His phone kept ringing with people either scolding him or claiming compensation. Liang Cheng couldn't even find a cave to hide in. I can't go to the company. Home is gone. He didn't want to go to Miao Xiaowai's place. Wherever he goes, he gets scolded. Whether in real life or online, even the company's cleaning lady and the janitor uncle are praising him. He had never been so broken as he was today. Neither he nor Miao Xiaowai knew that this was the third blow Taoran had given them. Now they are famous all over the internet, and soon no one on the entire internet will know about them. Taoran wants to make them go to heaven and earth, with nowhere to escape. Whether in life or on the internet, you have to be laughed at, scolded, and looked down upon. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 556. The effect of online human flesh targeting of Miao Xiaowai came out. Someone found out that Miao Xiaowai just bought a fully furnished 3-bedroom apartment with a total price of more than 10 million last month. The point is, full payment. Someone also found out that there was indeed a villa in her name that was sold just over a month ago, as Yao Ceci said. That villa is worth at least more than 30 million. This can't be earned by her as a Beijing drifter with no work experience, right? And the time when she sold the villa happened to be around the time when the rumors of Liang Cheng and Zhang Yian's marriage began. So, she changed from the villa to a suite in order to quickly realize the cash and transfer the property. A neighbor of the villa broke the news, saying that Miao Ziyi did have a 3 or 4-year-old child. Before, only the mother and son lived in the villa. Everyone has been secretly rumoring that they are the third son and illegitimate son of a rich man. Some paparazzi exposed photos of Liang Cheng taking his parents to celebrate the birthdays of San'er and their son, saying that they had discovered Liang Cheng's misdeeds a long time ago. The paparazzi also released a set of photos of Liang Cheng visiting Miao Ziyi's 3-bedroom apartment in disguise a few days ago. These paparazzi photos were naturally released by people from Taoran. But at this time when the entire internet is picking on the paparazzi, no one is asking or scolding the paparazzi. Instead, everyone is praising the paparazzi for doing a great job. Liang Cheng and Miao Ziyi were beaten to the point of being burnt on the outside and tender on the inside. Liang Cheng, who received Miao Ziyi's call for help, exploded instantly. Does she still have the nerve to complain and ask for help? If it weren't for this woman taking it upon herself to send her to Zhang Yian's house, he and Zhang Lan would have ended. How could Yao Ceci have a chance? How could Zhang Lan hit him? How could he not even have a chance at public relations? How did it get to this point? Now that she is destroyed, is she happy? Liang Cheng was furious and quickly rushed to Miao Ziyi's residence. As soon as the door opened, Liang Cheng slapped him and walked out. Are you crazy about money? Why are you trying to blackmail Zhang Lan? Liang Cheng was furious and kicked him out again. I didn't blackmail. Do you think I will believe it? Will I believe it? Do you think I'm stupid? I saw that video. Liang Cheng grabbed Miao Ziyi's collar directly. Miao Ziyi suddenly felt a little desperate. Even Liang Cheng didn't believe her. What about the others? Will the police believe her? Will the judge believe her? I really didn't. I really didn't. I swear to God, it's true. Listen to my explanation. Then tell me, what photo did you show her? Huh? Miao Ziyi was dumbfounded again. Said she took ugly photos of Liang Cheng with other women? That she had found someone to follow him? That she just took his ugly photos to threaten Zhang Lan? Will he believe it? Will he let himself go? But Miao Ziyi's hesitation only further ignited the anger in Liang Cheng's heart. Bitch! Are you willing to destroy me for money? Liang Cheng slapped him out again. Listen to my explanation first. Miao Ziyi, who was already depressed, got angry several times and pushed Liang Cheng. Liang Cheng's illegitimate son Xiao also rushed out when he heard the two people's movements. When he saw his mother being beaten, he struck Liang Cheng's back with his fists and feet, and cursed, "Bad dad, let go of my mother, the bad guy, the worst is you." Xiao has been feeling very unbalanced recently. He knew that his father was shared with others, so he was always close to his mother. But recently, my mother has been feeling uncomfortable every day, and she is always quarreling with her cousin, and often ignores him. There were times when I got angry with him for no apparent reason. The big house they originally lived in was gone, so they moved to this small house. Recently, this small house was given to his cousin-in-law and his family, so he could only stay in a hotel with his mother. He hates hotels. Recently, when adults quarreled, money always came up, and my mother said there was no money. No money? What to do? Doesn't that mean you can't live in a big house anymore? He also heard that it was all because of Dad. He was almost furious. How could Dad do that? He clearly heard that his father had always said that he wanted to give him and his mother the best life. Liar. Am I bad? Liang Chen grinned at his back molars. You are bad. Dad is the worst. Dad is a liar. Give mom's money back to her, and give our big house back. I don't want to live here or in a hotel. Let my mother go. Liang Chen looked back and saw that his precious son had a ferocious face and was using both hands and feet. He was not childish at all, nor was he as cute as usual. This is his beloved son. He is far worse than the sensible Coco. Look what you have taught your son to do. Liang Chen pushed Miao Ziyi to the ground and threw his son away. The dumbfounded cousin-in-law subconsciously did not want to get involved in the affairs of these two people, but he who had been scrolling through his mobile phone suddenly raised his head. Zhang Lan posted on Weibo again. The two people finally stopped, each took out their mobile phones and started reading. Tao Ran finally posted on Weibo again, saying, "My lawyer just contacted me and found the IP address of the person who spread rumors about me a few days ago. It is the 3-bedroom apartment that everyone has found Ms. Miao. Therefore, we have reason to believe that the previous slander and slander against me are related to Miao. Ladies can't get away from it. After a thorough investigation, we discovered that Heezy and Ms. Miao were actually cousins. The lawyer feels that Ms. Miao is the main culprit in the series of slanders against me some time ago, or that the sisters may have conspired together. Defamation cases and extortion cases are more likely to be related. In addition, it is not ruled out that Liang Chen may be involved. In short, whether it is these two cases or Ms. Miao's property division matter, we will pursue legal responsibility." Both the studio and Guang Entertainment retweeted this Weibo post. Public opinion exploded again. Mom. The sensational rumor-mongering case a few days ago turned out to be the fault of Miao Ziyi. How many bad things has this woman done? As expected, he is the most despicable son in history. Tell. You must sue. Sue these despicable men and women to death. Miao Ziyi gritted her teeth and screamed, "Ah dash! This day has finally come. Go find Zhang Lan. Go." Miao Ziyi also punched Liang Chen with her fist. "Go and beg her. Beg her to be merciful. Beg her to be lenient. Beg her not to sue me. I don't want to go to jail." According to Zhang Yian's Weibo post, she has already been charged with 3 crimes. Slander, scapegoat, blackmail. If this continues, no one will believe her. Then she is adding more guilt to her crime. Is she really going to go in and squat? Now you know you are afraid. Liang Chen grabbed Miao Ziyi's hair. "I told you not to provoke her a long time ago. I said she was scary and told you to stay away from her. You are disobedient. Now you know scared." God knows, Liang Chen's hatred for Miao Ziyi is almost as much as that of Zhang Lan. Because of this woman, his future is ruined. It's all over. The raging anger made him show no mercy at all. Miao Ziyi slipped and hit the shelf, directly breaking her forehead. "That's enough. It's all because of you." Miao Ziyi felt even more aggrieved. Isn't she miserable? Now the whole world is scolding her, but which mistress is as miserable as her? Her money was defrauded, her reputation was ruined, she was bullied online, and she was killed by society. Even her direct family members were scolding her. Now the only house she owns is going to be divided, and she's facing a lawsuit, and she might go to jail. She can't even hire a decent lawyer. Her man is still complaining about her and beating her. How could her fate be so bad? When Miao Ziyi got angry, she also smashed a water glass at Liang Chen's feet. "If it weren't for the trouble you had with her before, how could she be so cruel? If you had been nicer to your assistant, you wouldn't have become like this. And it was you who came up with the accusation against my cousin. It's all your fault. I don't care, I can't even hire a lawyer now. Go ask her to withdraw the lawsuit, and find a way, otherwise I won't be able to spare you. You're dreaming. Liang Cheng slapped him away again. Can't forgive me? Why can't you forgive me? Do you believe that I killed you first? Liang Chen now avoids Zhang Lan, so why would he beg her for Miao Ziyi? Moreover, what Miao Ziyi did was all deserved, and it was none of his business to go to jail. Liang Chen was extremely distressed. If he had known that the matter between Miao Ziyi and his son would be exposed so soon, he would not have been threatened by Zhang Lan and compensated her with so much property. Liang Chen became even more furious when he thought of that villa and those savings. This woman, Miao Ziyi, still dares to blame herself and smash things at herself? She didn't even look at how much she had sacrificed because of her. Liang Chen grabbed a vase and threw it at Miao Ziyi's place. Xiao was crying beside him, scolding him for Miao Ziyi and hitting him at the same time. This undoubtedly added fuel to the fire. Liang Chen flew out with his kick, and his son was kicked away by him. My son hit his tooth and his mouth was full of blood. When Miao Ziyi saw this, she was frightened to death. Domestic violence, Liang Chen, you are doing domestic violence. I will fight with you. She grabbed a beer bottle on the table and swung it towards Liang Chen. Liang Chen dodged and the beer bottle only hit his shoulder. Instead, Miao Ziyi was caught by him again. The two people here were busy blaming each other and scuffling, and they didn't realize that the cousin-in-law had left with their son 3 minutes ago. The cousin-in-law was already afraid of trouble. Seeing Liang Chen's menacing attack, he and his son were afraid of suffering a loss and wanted to run away. Later, when they looked at Weibo, everyone was saying that they could not spare Miao Ziyi and her cousin. He was even more frightened. This matter is getting bigger and bigger. Liang Chen and Miao Ziyi were both finished. Then, he decided to find his wife quickly. Otherwise, simply confess and be lenient. 3 minutes later, the door of Miao Ziyi's house was knocked open. When a team of police officers entered, they saw Miao Ziyi, who had several bruises on her face, a gash on her forehead, and was completely unrecognizable. She was lying on the ground unable to move, and Liang Chen, whose little finger had just been broken, with a bruised nose and a swollen face. The two of them, together with their illegitimate child, were taken to the police station. Needless to say, it was Chaoran's fault that the police arrived so coincidentally. After Chaoran completed the 3 strikes, she expected that Miao Ziyi would seek help from Liang Chen, and Liang Chen would definitely seek settlement with Miao Ziyi. They would definitely meet, so her people had been following Liang Chen, preparing to catch him. After confirming that Liang Chen was rushing to Miao Ziyi's residence, Chaoran immediately submitted information to the police station where the police had been called, saying that netizens had revealed that Ms. Wu Mei and Miao Ziyi, who had slandered her, were cousins, and asked the police to investigate Miao Ziyi. Did Ziyi participate in the defamation and tell her whereabouts of the current IP address where Miao Ziyi lives? At the same time, Chaoran posted the Weibo post just now, raising the profile. The matter was already getting serious and the attention was so high that the police station did not dare to delay it for a second and immediately rushed to the address where the landlord was Miao Ziyi and the tenant was Wu Mei. As soon as they arrived, they heard smashing in the house, screaming, and the crying of women and children. The neighbor was also outside the door and said he had just planned to call the police, saying that there was a lot of noise next door and he heard someone shouting domestic violence. Therefore, Chaoran did not expect that the effect would be so good. The police broke down the door and not only caught Liang Chen, Miao Ziyi, and the illegitimate son, they also happened to catch a scene of domestic violence. The news from the police alarmed the neighbors, so everyone who was peeping out frequently clicked on their cell phones and took pictures of the mess in Miao Ziyi's home and the dogs and men hurting each other. It didn't take long for these videos to be ridiculed and scolded by the entire internet. Especially when the police arrived, Xiao, who was injured and had a lot of blood on his face, rushed over. With tears streaming down his face, he pulled the policeman's sleeves and testified that his father beat his mother as soon as he got home. He begged the policeman to save my mother and her husband. My video also went viral. And this article not only confirms that Liang Cheng is his father and this is his home, but also confirms that Liang Cheng is a victim of domestic violence. These contents quickly spread all over the internet, but no one expressed regret that this dog-eating behavior caused several people to be injured. Instead, everyone clapped and applauded. And Liang Cheng finally stumbled here. Not only did he have to cooperate with the investigation of Zhang Yian's report, which revealed that he was suspected of conspiring with Miao Ziyawai to defame and extort, but he also had to be investigated for intentional injury because of reports from the masses and his son. He refused to accept it and raised his finger to show that he was also a victim. Either there was intentional harm or there was a fight. He also asked for an injury test. His little finger was confirmed to be fractured again, and he suffered a lot again, but was still taken back to the police station. The investigation went smoothly and it was confirmed that Miao Ziyawai and Wu Mei were cousins. Wu Mei's husband had already surrendered a quarter of an hour ago, confessed that he had received the money as a scapegoat under the instruction of Miao Ziyawai and Liang Cheng, and voluntarily handed over the proof of transfer and call records. Therefore, it is very clear that Liang Cheng paid someone to take the blame. According to neighbors, Xiao and Wu Mei's husband, it was indeed Liang Cheng who beat her first, so Miao Ziyawai's injuries were much more serious than hers. So in the end, Liang Cheng's intentional harm was confirmed. Liang Cheng was detained. The big star who was so famous yesterday was locked up like this. He asked for a lawyer, but his previous lawyer wouldn't answer the phone. He begged Mr. Zhang, Mr. Lei, Mr. Fei, and others, but no one paid any attention to him. He looked for his former brothers, but who dared to have anything to do with him? There was no one to save him. On the contrary, Xiaoxia, who came to cooperate with the investigation on behalf of Tao Ran, told him something from Tao Ran, a lost dog, betrayed by everyone, has nowhere to go anyway, so don't pick a place. This is the best place for you. Liang Cheng was furious and just as he was about to swing his fist, Xiaoxia screamed. He didn't hit anyone, but he was almost hit by the baton. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 557. News of Liang Cheng's detention was quickly posted online. In the eyes of many people, this undoubtedly stamped his illegal behavior. This time, even friends who were good friends with him in the past had to issue statements stating that they had no knowledge of what he was doing, and they all distanced themselves from him. Miao Ziyawai was seriously injured and had just received 7 stitches on her forehead. She was still waiting for other physical examinations in the hospital. While she was waiting, she checked Weibo and found that Zhang Lan had posted another Weibo message a minute ago. Thank you for your concern. Liang Cheng and I have completed the divorce procedures, but when we agreed to divorce, I didn't know who Miao Ziyawai was, nor did I know that Liang Cheng had bought a house for her, so it was not included in our agreement. That part of the assets, so Liang Cheng has concealed and transferred the property. In this regard, I have entrusted a lawyer to ask Mr. Liang Cheng and Ms. Miao Ziyawai to quickly compensate for my legal rights and interests, and reserve the right to sue them. God knows, when she saw this, Miao Ziyawai was more surprised than all the netizens. Divorce. Already divorced? Are they already divorced? Her legs went weak and she sat down directly on the ground. Who has her breakdown? So, what did you do today? They were divorced, so how could Zhang Lan care about Liang Cheng's romantic affairs? How could you be afraid that your reputation would be harmed by Liang Cheng? How could you compromise for the sake of your children? Therefore, Today's threat was not valid from the beginning. Instead, he gave Liang Cheng's clues to the door. I was so arrogant and domineering in vain. Did I directly provoke Zhang Yian's anger? How ridiculous did I look in Zhang Yian's eyes at that time? That's why she spared no effort to get herself to where she is now, right? Miao Ziyi was so angry that her teeth were chattering, not because she hated Zhang Lan, but because she hated Liang Cheng. That beast has been lying to himself, saying that his lawyer is still negotiating with Zhang Lan, saying that the division of property in the agreement has not been finalized yet. So it's all lies. You are just lying to yourself. Scum. It's all because of him. Otherwise, how could I have gotten to this point? Zhang Lan, what did Zhang Lan say? Said that she wanted to recover her rights, otherwise she would sue? What does this mean? Can't you keep the 3-bedroom apartment you live in now? Miao Ziyi is going crazy. Also, when did the two divorce? Liang Chengdu was out of town a few days ago, so it must have been a while. When will that be? Miao Ziyi's heart was filled with waves. Was it the last time Liang Cheng stole his savings and took his jewelry to sell? Was it when he withheld the nearly 20 million remaining from the sale of his villa? Or, could it be that he sold his villa just to use the money to break up with Zhang Lan? Could it be that because he didn't want to get the money for a divorce, he pretended to be poor in front of him from the beginning to the end, so he defrauded him of the villa? Miao Ziyi could not help but have wild thoughts, and then she felt that the world was spinning. Use your own money and your own house to subsidize your wife? Is there such a thing in this world? Miao Ziyi's hands were shaking. Looking at the phone again, in a short period of time, there were thousands of comments under that Weibo post, all of which were in support of Zhang Lan. They were all supporting her in suing herself and Liang Cheng, saying that she would be put in jail. She also became a street rat and was cursed by everyone, making Miao Ziyi even more aggrieved. She was also a victim. She was also deceived by Liang Cheng, so she slandered Zhang Lan and triggered a series of events that followed, wasn't it? Unfortunately for her, she was told by the police officer that she would be detained after leaving the hospital. She said that her cousin and her husband had surrendered and they were taking the blame for her. Miao Ziyi collapsed completely, hugging the police officer and crying. If I had known this, why would I do it in the first place? The police officer would not pity her, but felt that she had brought it upon herself. Miao Ziyi begged the police officer, saying that she had been deceived and that she had children to take care of. Is there any way to avoid being detained or prosecuted? The police officer didn't bother to answer her. The charges against me are all because Zhang Lan called the police. So as long as Zhang Lan lets me go and Zhang Lan is willing to reconcile with me, I don't have to be locked up, right? Officer, please, let me get a beating phone. I want to find Zhang Lan, I want to apologize to her, kneel down to her, I want her forgiveness. Miao Ziyi didn't expect that she would see Zhang Lan shortly after she came out of the MRI after making the call. She actually came. Tao Ran naturally had to make the trip. Well, there is a purpose. The first purpose is naturally to appreciate Miao Ziyi's miserable state at this time. It is hard to imagine that her face, which was so bright and beautiful not long ago, now looks like a steamed bun, and her original appearance is completely lost. His forehead was wrapped with gauze, one eye was swollen, there was a big cut in the corner of his mouth, a tooth was missing, and his lips were swollen like sausages. If this face is repaired later without spending any money, it will be considered disfigured. Tao Ran had already read Miao Ziyi's injury report. She had a number of bruises, cracked ribs and a sprained ankle. Liang Cheng is really not gentle. Tao Ran asked the police officer and was given a quarter of an hour of private chat time with Miao Ziyi in the ward. As soon as the door closed, Miao Ziyi knelt down. Tao Ran sat down directly on the chair. I was wrong, I'm sorry. I kneel down and apologize to you. I shouldn't have thrown dirty water at you, I shouldn't have threatened you, I shouldn't have looked for my cousin as a scapegoat, I just got lost in my mind for a moment, and that's why I did something wrong. I'm sorry for you. But I'm also a victim. I was deceived by Liang Cheng. I didn't know you were divorced and he had been. Wait a minute, Chao Ran interrupted. Are these the only things you have done wrong? Are these the last few things you have done wrong to me? Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be with Liang Cheng. I shouldn't be Sanur. I shouldn't give birth to his child, and I shouldn't hurt you, and Keek. I did something wrong. I know my mistake. Miao Ziyi knelt at Zhang Yian's feet and begged. Who would have thought that in such a short period of time, the two people's attitudes could change so much? Miao Ziyi always felt that she could beat Zhang Lan. But she didn't realize how ridiculous she was until now. Those crushing thoughts are so whimsical. For the sake of the future, there is no other way to put aside your self-esteem. I kowtow to you, and I sincerely admit my mistake. Can you let me go? I don't want to go to jail. And you also know that I didn't blackmail you. You don't remember villains' mistakes, so just let me go. Miao Ziyi kowtowed while crying. If the three crimes of defamation, scapegoating, and extortion were added up, even if he did not go to jail, he would at least be detained for a long time. What will my son do then? The more she thought about it, the more panicked she became. Chao Ran accepted Miao Ziyi's kneeling and kowtowing gracefully. Of course, she suffered on behalf of Zhang Lan. Whether Miao Ziyi was having sex, giving birth to children, sucking blood, or going to the house and forcing her to have a baby in the plot, she felt sorry for Zhang Lan. Now she kneels down and kowtows to beg. She deserves it. Zhang Lan deserves it. This was also the second purpose of Chao Ran's visit. Miao Ziyi looked at Chao Ran. Okay? Spare me this time. I will never appear in front of you in the future. What about Liang Cheng? Chao Ran also had a third purpose. What will happen between you and Liang Cheng? She asked with a smile on her face. If you don't like it, I will separate from him. I promise not to see him. I will leave him. Chao Ran chuckled. You are so pitifully stupid. What do you mean? So, you are going to let go of Liang Cheng's violence against you? Chao Ran looked in disbelief. Miao Ziyi was stunned. She hasn't thought of this yet. During this period of time, there had been too many shocks. Her heart was hanging on the police station, the court, and her son. Where could she think of these things? And in the past few years, all her wishes have been related to Liang Cheng. Until now, she has not had time to think about whether she will be with him in the future after things have reached this point. She subconsciously felt that she and Liang Cheng were in the same boat. She never thought that Liang Cheng had committed a crime against her. Miao Ziyi's eyes were a little confused. Yes, Liang Cheng had made himself like this. If he just let him go, wouldn't it be too easy for him? Chao Ran saw her expression in his eyes. You just said that everything you did was because of him. The police station said that he was the instigator when you asked your cousin to take the blame. But in the end, he, the instigator, was fine. But it was you who went in and squatted. You took the blame for him and had to be beaten by him. You were disfigured because of him, but you were always deceived by him. I didn't expect that in the end, you were still so useless. You said you were not stupid. Miao Ziyi's tears rolled down her face. Isn't it? I sincerely fed the dog, so wronged. But Liang Cheng is his son's biological father after all. How could she? But, you. Miao Ziyi raised her head and looked at Chao Ran from above. How do you know that I was deceived by him? Chao Ran leaned down and said, I can also tell you a secret. What? Not only has Liang Cheng divorced me, but our divorce agreement also required him to leave the house and pay me a large amount of compensation. Since he didn't even tell you about the divorce, then it must be he won't let you know either. He must have lied to you. Impossible, it's impossible to cleanse yourself and leave the house. Cannot. You know whether this is true or not. He must have defrauded you of a lot of money recently, right? Miao Ziyi knelt directly on the ground. She persists until now, still thinking that even if he gets divorced, he will still have more than $500 million in property. Now tell her that he has left home without a clean slate, has nothing, and still has debts? Your villa. They're all mine. So his parents were kicked out, and he lied to the outside world that he was going on a trip. So he has nowhere to go recently and can only live in GXC. Not only the villa, but also his luxury car and his money. Most of the things in the house are mine. The children are also mine. Impossible. Is he crazy? Even so, Miao Ziyi actually believed it. That's why he's so poor, that's why he and his parents have so many loopholes, why his luxury car hasn't been seen for many days. How many times has he lied to himself? He's so unclean. He was afraid that I would reveal his scandal, so he used this to silence me. Chao Ran smiled half-heartedly. Miao Ziyi's mouth opened wide. Therefore, Liang Chen has been sealing Zhang Yian's mouth. But today, he took the initiative to find Zhang Lan with his dirty information. At this moment, Miao Ziyi finally understood why Liang Chen was so scary and angry, like a madman, wanting to kill him. Miao Ziyi felt aversion to cold all over her body. That liar! Brute! Rubbish! When Liang Chen attacked her, the pain swept through her body again, making her tremble and hate her deeply. Chao Ran still guided her patiently and carefully. Not only does Liang Chen have nothing now, he is also facing a large number of claims. I'm afraid you don't know that GXC has changed the contract with him. Now he is no longer GXC's artist, so this time GXC will not be responsible for him or help him deal with the aftermath. On the contrary, GXC has already issued a notice that his salary will be frozen to make up for the losses. So now Liang Chen not only has no money, no power, and no reputation, but it will also be difficult for him to make money again in the future. And he will soon face a lawsuit from me, a claim from me. The road ahead was bleak and he couldn't see the end. And his only hope is you. Me. Miao Ziyi had been completely taken away by Chao Ran. Yes. You. Think about it for yourself. If he can't earn a penny, can he only rely on you? To be precise, it depends on your house. That house can't be kept. He has to use it to pay back the money. He will drain all the value out of you. Do you want such a man? Don't want. Don't want. Miao Ziyi only had this thought in her heart. Yes, what else can Liang Chen do in the future? What's the use of a man who can't make any money? Everyone knows his face. Do you want to be embarrassed by him and yourself for the rest of your life? Miao Ziyi shook her head. Even if you are separated from him. But he has lost Coco, do you think he will give up his son? Now that you have a bad reputation, and you are about to go in again, do you think you can win the custody of your son? He will still give up his son. Leave your precious son to you. Even if he is willing, will his parents agree? What kind of people are his parents, don't you know? By then, you won't even be able to keep your son. You will have nothing. And you have lost so many years of youth. Miao Ziyi shuddered. I didn't think much about it before, but now that I think about it, aren't there many problems? I can't lose my son, everything else has been lost. If my son is gone, it would be better to die. Chao Ran smiled, so at this point, you haven't taken any action against him yet. I can only laugh at you for being stupid. What should I do? What do you mean? I don't know what you are going to do. How could Chao Ran let her take advantage of him? Look at how you have been bullied by him. I just think that instead of sinking with him, you might as well stand up as a victim. If you fight for it, you may be able to get some compensation. And if he dig deeper into the quagmire, and you might be able to save your son. Miao Zhihui understood. To put it bluntly, Zhonglan wanted to deal with Liang Cheng. If I do what you want. Hey, everything I just said was from your perspective. I didn't mean anything special. Okay. I will sue him. Sue him for intentional injury and confess that he was the mastermind of the scapegoat. Zhonglan is right. The worse Liang Cheng is, the smaller her guilt will be and the greater her benefits will be. If that's the case, can you be lenient to me? What I just said is to help you. As for the rest, I can't promise you anything. It depends on your mood. But you know, I hate that person, so you can do something to make me happy. After Tao Ran finished speaking, he left. This was the main purpose of her trip. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 558. Tao Ran has been paying attention to Miao Zhihui. But she discovered that apart from Liang Yu, it was only the neighbors who accused Liang Cheng of domestic violence and injury, and not Miao Zhihui, who had been beaten the most. She immediately understood that Miao Zhihui still had hope for Liang Cheng. Or feelings, or money. How could you miss such a good opportunity to send Liang Cheng in? So, she came here. She wanted to break Miao Zhihui's last bit of hope and make him see the hopelessness of money and the emptiness of love, and made Miao Zhihui nervous. She did it. In this way, Liang Cheng will be truly alone in the future, with no one to help him, so he should be allowed to taste the feeling of being abandoned by the whole world. Before Tao Ran even left the hospital, his cell phone rang. It was Xioxia from the police station. It turned out that Liang Cheng wanted to say a few words to her. Stop forcing me, leave away from me. I'm begging you. Liang Cheng saw the Weibo post that Tao Ran posted 2/4 of an hour ago. He didn't expect that this woman even gave him the last bit of real estate to divide. All his property has been given to her. How could she be so greedy? You drove me to the point of panic, so I will publish our divorce agreement and let the world see how much money you took away, how greedy and vicious you are. How harsh you are to me. Up to you. Tao Ran was very calm. If you dare to announce our agreement, I will explain to the public why you voluntarily gave me so much property. Liang Cheng, then don't blame me for pulling out the carrots and bringing the king out of the mud. Paula is involved. If she accidentally ends up going to court because of you, you know the outcome better than me. The most you can do now is suffer some losses, but if you anger Wang Beilei, all your people may be gone. Tao Ran hung up the phone directly. Whether Liang Cheng was shaking or not, she was prepared. Casual. But Liang Cheng on the other end of the phone almost went crazy. When he mentioned Wang Beilei, his fingers seemed to hurt again. Heartbreaking pain, coupled with unforgettable fear. In the past, Wang Beilei had concerns about handling her own affairs, but now that she is worthless, can she kill herself easily? Liang Cheng was depressed. So, I can only let Zhonglan flatten and round it? As for Tao Ran, she asked Director Lu to announce her donation of 8.88 million to her sister's fund. She also posted on Weibo to inform everyone about the source of the money, expressing her determination to say goodbye to the past. Her actions were once again praised. She is independent and self-reliant and has received a lot of support. It also brought her and Liang Cheng to the peak of public opinion. Their affairs have long gone beyond the scope of entertainment news and are now being reported as social news. Women's rights, facing domestic violence, facing extramarital affairs, family and career and other aspects have aroused waves of discussion. This is not only because Tao Ran wants society to further criticize Liang Cheng and make Liang Cheng die in society, but it is also what Tao Ran herself wants to do. As women, compared to men, we do have too many choices and disadvantages, and we need more understanding and tolerance from society. Since she can stand at this height, she is naturally willing to speak out, willing to guide, and willing to help more women. This is also the main reason why she is willing to contribute money to her sister's fund. On the other side, Miao Ziyi, who had received some advice, did not disappoint Chao Ran. After the examination, she submitted the injury reports of herself and her son to the police station, accusing Liang Cheng of intentional injury. And she was even more generous than Chao Ran thought. She said that her slander against Zhang Lan was prompted by Liang Cheng. If Liang Cheng had not revealed the affairs of the industry to her in private, how could she, a housewife, know so much? Everything she did was done according to Liang Cheng's instructions. It was indeed Liang Cheng's idea to let his cousin take the blame. Liang Chengke was the mastermind of this matter. She also took out her mobile phone and pointed out that the money she transferred to her cousin-in-law was transferred to her account first by Liang Cheng. If Liang Cheng was not the mastermind, why would she give so much money to her cousin-in-law? She also cried loudly at the police station, saying that this was not the first time she had been beaten. Not only has she been domestically abused and controlled many times, but she has also been subjected to cold violence. She has been living in the lies told by Liang Cheng and has been controlled by Liang Cheng. Miao Ziyi has already thought clearly. Zhang Yan's reminder is wise. Her life was originally ruined because of Liang Cheng. Isn't it natural for Liang Cheng to be held responsible now? Instead of being scolded as a bad woman with a vicious heart, why didn't she become a stupid woman who was held hostage by a scumbag? Then at least she could keep her son, get alimony, and get compensation. Only these are the real protection for her. Therefore, Miao Ziyi said this very firmly. Chao Ran was also very satisfied with this. So, when Miao Ziyi filed a lawsuit against Liang Cheng for intentional injury, Chao Ran also filed a lawsuit against Liang Cheng for domestic violence himself. Both people said that he was a domestic abuser, so his behavior was naturally even more indefensible. And Chao Ran's evidence is no weaker than Miao Ziyi's. All the videos she secretly recorded earlier came in handy. By the way, Chao Ran also sued Liang's parents. In addition to domestic violence, their charges include helping Liang Cheng conceal and transfer assets. When she handed over the materials, the content was so rich and accurate that the lawyer assigned to Liang Cheng by the court no longer wanted to litigate the lawsuit. In court, the evidence was exposed on the spot. Zhang Lan was scolded and beaten many times, sometimes at home and sometimes on the set. When Zhang Lan was not at home, Liang Cheng went crazy in her room, smashing things everywhere, like a madman. Zhang Lan was in the studio, and Liang Cheng was following him. He was about to hit someone with a stick. When Zhang Lan was at home, she was beaten and scolded by Liang's mother even when she had breakfast. There were sighs in the court. What kind of existence are these Liang family members? Mother Liang and Father Liang were extremely angry and scolded Zhang Lan for being despicable and shameless, saying that the evidence was not true and that she had edited it. But who believes it? Chao Ran took out his medical records in court. Ever since I was pregnant, I have been subjected to all kinds of verbal abuse or cold violence from them from time to time, and I have suffered from depression since then. This is my medical record over the years, and all the prescriptions I have taken over the years. It was they who forced me to become that's it. The thick stack of materials made everyone in an uproar. The whole family is not only bad-tempered, but also very manic. Especially Liang Cheng. I have always suspected that he has mania. You fart, Liang Cheng was almost driven crazy these days. Unexpectedly, as soon as Zhang Lan finished speaking, Miao Ziyi raised her finger in recognition and said that she felt the same way. It is said that Liang Cheng was moody, often irritable, and prone to beating and scolding. Said that she also went to the doctor for depression because of his various behaviors, and she also took a lot of medicine in private. At this moment, Miao Ziyawai was using this method to show her favor to Zhang Lan, showing that she and Zhang Lan were on the same side, hoping to get some mercy later. Liang Cheng was even more furious. Zhang Lan said that he would let it go. After all, that woman was always cunning, but what happened to Miao Ziyawai? Are you not treating her well? When had she been depressed? As long as she has money to spend, she will behave like a dog, right? He didn't understand. These two women were supposed to be enemies when they met and pulled each other's hair. Why did they all agree? Is mental illness contagious? How come Miao Ziyawai was infected by Zhang Lan? What he couldn't tolerate even more was that his precious son actually complained in court that after he entered the house, he kept threatening to beat his mother to death. Daddy is the devil. Who can not be shocked when such an accusation comes from a child's mouth? With similar testimony from his cousin-in-law, Liang Cheng's anger was like a volcanic rock, burning his limbs and bones. They are all lying. They teamed up to lie. Miao Ziyawai, you are crazy. You betrayed me. Are you worthy of me? Xiao, how can you say that to Dad? Dad loves you so much. Tell Dad, these words are didn't Mom teach you that? Bara. Liang Cheng was extremely excited. If he hadn't been stopped by the bailiff, he would have been thrown out of the dock and beaten in any minute. But his appearance made the two women point fingers at him, saying that he was manic, saying that he was always like that, and begging the judge to make the decision for them. Xiao's behavior was naturally indicated by Miao Ziyawai. She just told Xiao that he could only be with one person in the future. His son naturally chose her without hesitation. The victims, witnesses, and physical evidence were all complete, and there was no way Liang Cheng could get away. His violent crimes against two women were confirmed. Verbal violence and behavioral violence are all recognized. The violence against Miao Ziyawai, her son, and Zhang Lan were also all recognized. Women and children suffered mental trauma because of him. Miao Ziyawai's face was scarred and disfigured because of his beating, one tooth was lost, two were broken, bones and legs were injured, and her body was irreversibly damaged. As a public figure, Liang Cheng's violent behavior was of a bad nature, and he had committed many acts over many years. He still did not want to repent and even acted intimidating in court, so he was sentenced harshly. In addition to an apology and financial compensation to the victim, Liang Cheng was also sentenced to 6 months in detention. In the defamation case and the scapegoat case, Liang was finally found to be the mastermind, disrupting justice and in contempt of court. Because the evidence was conclusive, he finally publicly apologized and was detained for an additional month. As for Miao Ziyawai, Taoran did not kill them all. Because she had a good attitude in pleading guilty, she was only detained for 15 days. Her cousin was detained for 3 days. On the other side, Taoran requested to divide Liang Cheng's transferred property, which was Miao Ziyawai's 3-bedroom apartment and luxury car. The court assessed the price. The total price is around 11 million. Taoran can get half of it according to law, which is more than 5 million. She announced in court that all the money would be used for charity, and Liang Cheng was so angry that she yelled in court again. But the division of the remaining 5 million yuan has become difficult. Liang Cheng said that it was the house he bought with money, while Miao Ziyawai insisted that it was a gift from Liang Cheng to her and her son. She was also the owner of the real estate certificate, so it should belong to her. The two sides refused to give in to each other. After all, Miao Ziyawai still has to raise her children, and she herself has no job, and Liang Cheng still has to serve a sentence, so the raising of the children can only be left to Miao Ziyawai. In the end, half of the money was awarded to Miao Ziyawai as alimony. Miao Ziyawai knew that Liang Cheng had no money, so the court demanded that the compensation for Liang Cheng's domestic violence against her should be deducted directly from the proceeds from the sale of the property. Therefore, Miao Ziyawai's judgment ruled that she could take away the house and sell it. 3.7 million after leaving the country. Liang Cheng, on the other hand, could only get 1.8 million. He expressed dissatisfaction in court, and his parents also shouted and cried. When the judge warned him of contempt of court, he couldn't shut up Liang Cheng. In the end, he was dragged away directly. 1.8 million is enough for what? It wasn't enough for him to compensate GXC. GXC was so cruel that he didn't pay him a penny and deducted all his money from the previous period under various names. Not only that, in order to get rid of him and prove that they were not in the same boat, GXC also took his IOU and sued him again. GXC has done this, and several other platforms with which he still has business cooperation have also sued him. After the trial ended, Miao Zihui was very happy to see Liang Cheng, who was exhausted and still had many lawsuits. Thanks to her listening to Zhang Lan and severing her relationship with Liang Cheng. Seeing Tao Ran, she hurriedly greeted him. Thank you, Xia let himself go. Tao Ran glanced at her lightly. Don't thank me, I haven't forgiven you. He didn't let her go either. Even if she doesn't need to be sentenced, she only needs to be detained for a while, but that doesn't mean she will have a good life. Her retribution may have just begun. Tao Ran's guess was right. When Miao Zihui was detained, she gave her son to her cousin-in-law to take care of him first. The cousin-in-law temporarily stayed in Beijing, waiting for his wife and Miao Zihui to come out. Unexpectedly, the next day, when my cousin-in-law took the children out, Liang's parents suddenly appeared and snatched Liang Yu away. Miao Zihui almost went crazy after receiving the news. But she was locked up and couldn't find her. The cousin's husband also had a child and it was inconvenient to find her, so Miao Zihui had no choice but to call the police. The police station couldn't contact Liang's parents and Liang's mother at all, and no information about the couple's departure from Beijing was found. The two old guys didn't even turn on their mobile phones. Liang Cheng also didn't know anything about it. It should still be in the capital. After all, they are grandparents and will not harm their grandson. Maybe the grandparents took the child away because they were worried about the child. Don't worry yet, this was the reply given by the police station. Miao Zihui began her painful wait. At this time, Tao Ran has reached her sister's last stage. She was originally the most popular in the show. And after what happened with Liang Cheng, her support was even more overwhelming, and she took the first place by force. Even viewers who don't watch the show don't forget to vote for her from time to time. On several stages, she has been promoting women's independence, overcoming obstacles, and striving to conquer the stars and the sea. This is in line with the purpose of the show and caters to the self-requirements of women in the new era, make her worthy of becoming the soul of the entire show. She was so popular that on the day of the last live show, she stood out without any suspense. With her super popularity and extraordinary stage ability, she won the first place in the show, that is, the center position. She completely helped Zhang Lan become famous. Really top-notch. She did it. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 560. Miao Zihui spent an extremely painful half-month. As soon as she regained her freedom, she began to look for her son. There was no news about the child at all, so she found Liang Cheng. The scumbag smiled half-heartedly. Originally, he was not your son. His surname is Liang. You know where your parents are, right? Of course I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't tell her. But my parents finally did the only thing for me that made me happy. These women joined forces to get him. Now seeing the pain of the woman who betrayed him, he suddenly felt relieved. The days in prison have been difficult these days, and they all rely on such little happiness to support me. Scum. Miao Zihui searched everywhere. After finding the address of Liang Cheng's hometown, she and her brother went there. After thinking about it, those two old guys must have returned to their hometown. She really found her son. But she didn't expect that her son, whom she hadn't seen for many months, would still look like the handsome and proud little prince he had been before. Miao Ziyi almost didn't dare to recognize that the gray-faced child wearing a cotton-padded jacket who was being bullied by a group of older children was her precious son. Miao Ziyi called her son's name. The moment his son turned around, he burst into tears and screamed "Mom" hysterically, which made Miao Ziyi extremely heartbroken. The next second, many people suddenly appeared around, and Liang Yu was also pulled aside by them. Miao Ziyi and brother Miao rushed forward, but were knocked to the ground. "Give me my son back. Who are you? This child's surname is Liang, and he has entered our Liang family tree. Hand over my son or I'll call the police." "Report. Who is stopping you? This child belongs to our Liang family. His parents are nothing. We took him and his grandparents took care of him. This is a matter of course. Even if you call the police, no one will care. Even honest officials ignore this household matter. If you are not satisfied, just file a lawsuit." A group of people turned around and left. Miao Ziyi went to chase, but Father Liang appeared. "Let's talk," he smiled maliciously. Miao Ziyi immediately realized that the reason why the old couple was easily found by her was probably because they didn't even want to run away. In other words, they have been waiting for her to come. The old man sat down directly. "I know you have a deep love for mother and son, and if you don't want to be separated, there's nothing you can do about it," the old man grinned. "In this way, for 3 million, you can take my son away." Miao Ziyi was stunned. Is this what people say? Is this considered selling a grandson? I finally know where Liang Cheng's shamelessness comes from. It turns out it's hereditary. Don't say it so harshly. Be considerate and considerate. Doesn't it mean that Xiao Cheng still owes a lot of money? We have to find a way to help Xiao Cheng get through the difficulties first, right? You have sucked my son's blood for so many years, so you should. I'm going to spit it out. If I don't use this method, can you take out the money? My house and car have been sold. All my valuables have been sold by your son. I still want to survive with my son. If I give you 3 million, what else can I do? Stop talking nonsense. Just tell me whether you will give it or not. Asshole. I'm selling my grandson, what about you? For money, you won't even spend some money on your son. How are you better than me? The old man sneered. Then, either I'll give you 3 million and we'll settle it at one price, or you'll be filial to me and get married as soon as the child's father comes back. Miao Ziyi was shocked by the shamelessness of this family. To put it bluntly, both of these are using the child to get her money. Marry Liang Cheng? Beautiful thought. Then the little money that he finally got came back to Liang Cheng? Miao Ziyi couldn't agree to either. So, she sued all the Liang family members. However, the Liang family is very rogue. They have lost their reputation and have long since stopped caring about other people's opinions. During the mediation, they cried, made trouble, and hanged themselves, saying that if their children were taken away, they would drink pesticides when they returned. Between persuasion and procrastination, time passed little by little. At this time, Taoran has officially accepted a new drama. That is, the second female lead in that big investment movie. With her outstanding performance in the audition, she easily won the nod from the director and producer. Zhang Lan was able to quickly complete the triple jump and go from a supporting role to a starring role. She was talented. What she lacks is opportunity and experience. Therefore, Taoran used his experience to drive Zhang Yian's body, both on and off the show, and left many of the acting techniques and skills he had learned over the years to Zhang Lan. With his outstanding performance, Taoran helped Zhang Lan successfully transform, so that Zhang Lan will have more performance choices in the future. But she didn't help Zhang Lan decide on her performance style. She felt that Zhang Lan would have to decide on her own in the future. The director and screenwriter liked her play very much and helped her add a lot of scenes. Tao Ran also had a great time acting. She became increasingly unwilling to withdraw from the circle. When she recovers, she will have to fight back into the circle. A few months later, Tao Ran's drama was completed. Immediately afterwards, she officially announced the heroine of another drama. It was a work by a young director. The script was very solid. Tao Ran liked it very much, so she took half the salary down to take the role. This play. In this regard, Guang Guang said nothing and fully supported. Liang Cheng was released from prison. But his nightmare wasn't over yet. He has to pay back the money. The 1.8 million that Miao Zihui received for the house, plus the few things he took out from the previous villa sold, barely paid off GXC's money. But he couldn't come up with any more money. He still owes several liquidated damages. The defendant was investigated and executed. He ended up on the court's blacklist. Of course he wanted to make a comeback. He went to other brokerage companies but was rejected by them all. Even if he sets the price very low, no one is willing to use him. He became a bad actor and was boycotted by the industry. He contacted people and wanted to arrange acupuncture. But for his first performance, as soon as the poster was posted, he was reported. This is an 18th-tier small city. Who could be so free and ruthless as to report it directly to the local cultural department? The show was suspended and he didn't get a penny. Liang Cheng also wanted to find friends, but no one paid attention to him. He wants to find someone to help him contact those rich women, but those people are most afraid of trouble. It's not worth getting into trouble just to eat meat. He was recognized several times while walking on the street, and then a group of women came to point at him and scold him, as if they were the ones being cheated on. He finally discovered it. As long as Zhonglan becomes more popular, he will never be forgotten. As long as Zhonglan makes new moves, he will be pulled out for a walk again. Liang Cheng hid from debts every day, but he didn't understand why no matter where he went, he would be discovered within a few days. He once suspected that someone was following him every day. Because he still failed to pay, he was beaten several times. He no longer wants to live this kind of life hiding from XZ. He wanted to find Zhonglan. But I dare not. After all, Zhonglan is surrounded by people in front and behind, and he has no chance to even get close. He misses Coco occasionally. Now Keek has attended the best international school in Beijing. He once thought about going to school to find the child, but he had already been banned from approaching him by that poisonous woman Zhonglan. As soon as he appeared, he was taken away by security guards. So, like his parents, he thought of Miao Zihui. At this time, although Miao Zihui won the lawsuit and obtained custody of her son, Liang's parents and Liang's mother did not implement the court's decision and took the child away again. Miao Zihui fully tasted the retribution. She used to love those Liang family members and hoped to be with them forever, but now she is in so much pain and wants to get rid of them. That day, she finally contacted Father Liang again and wanted to talk to him again, but it was Liang Cheng who came to the appointment. Zihui, long time no see. Liang Cheng's smile quenched the poison. Didn't you say that you love me to the core? You will love me forever and follow me forever? Don't you mean what you say? Miao Zihui sneered. You said you never lied to me, but you keep your word? Scumbag. Liang Cheng smiled. So, we are a perfect match. He reached out and grabbed Miao Zihui's bag and turned it over. Miao Zihui went to grab it, but Liang Cheng put his index finger in front of his mouth. Shh, my son is still with my parents. Your parents help you raise your son, so you have to give him some living expenses, right? Liang Cheng found several $1,000s and stuffed them all into his pocket. He also found a bank card. What's the password? Miao Zihui shook her head. Liang Cheng, if you don't tell me, my son will suffer. How dare you? Believe it or not, I'll call the police. Report it? Do you think it's better to call the police sooner or for your son to suffer sooner? Liang Chen looked like a dead pig, not afraid of being scalded by boiling water. If you call the police, I will prevent you from seeing your son forever. In this way, Liang Chen got 100,000 yuan in one go. Miao Ziyi was never able to see her son. And Liang Chen tasted the sweetness, and began to blackmail Miao Ziyi for 3 days. He said that if he wanted to see his son, he would marry him, and that would be the reunion of the family. That day, Miao Ziyi found Tao Ran. Tao Ran was busy making a career for Zhang Lan and didn't have time to deal with the scumbag recently, so she simply met Miao Ziyi. Let's be honest. Why are you looking for me? I really can't find anyone to discuss with me. What should I do? After thinking about it, you are the only one who can best understand the pain of the child not being around and the poison of the Liang family. If you can get rid of them, you can also teach them. Let me do it. Just like last time. Miao Ziyi burst into tears after talking about her miserable situation. In fact, Tao Ran knew all of that. Although Tao Ran had no time to deal with Liang Chen, he kept looking for someone to keep an eye on him secretly. Otherwise, how could he be found by creditors wherever he went? How could he not be able to do any performances? How could he be recognized in the crowd? I'm really at the end of my rope. Who said that? There is a way. Teach me. If it were me, I would have to get the child back no matter what. I can't wrong the child. Miao Ziyi nodded repeatedly. After that, Mania Tao Ran smiled. Last time in court, I testified that he had mania. Anger, madness, smashing, swearing and hitting others, isn't this mania? Such a person should go there, isn't that the treatment? You were domestically abused last time, which is proof. Of course, you need an opportunity now. Opportunity. Tao Ran leaned forward a few centimeters. We've known each other for so long, and you haven't learned anything from me yet. She couldn't make it too obvious, otherwise she would be instigating. So Tao Ran kept hinting. Still don't understand this? If there is no chance, create opportunities. If there is no evidence, just create evidence. She had set so many examples before, Miao Ziyi just had to pick one up and imitate it, and that would be it. If you can really prove that he is manic, I will be willing to help you prove it. Yes, Miao Ziyi's eyes lit up and she nodded. I think I know what to do. She stood up and bowed deeply. I'm sorry. I apologize for what happened before. When I find the child, I will also do charity. I will learn from you. Miao Ziyi left quickly. A week later, Tao Ran received the news that Miao Ziyi and Liang Chen had received their certificates. 3 days later, Miao Ziyi rented a small apartment in the suburbs of Beijing. That night, Liang's parents took their children to see her. A month later, the old couple returned to their hometown after buying large and small bags of things. Another night more than 10 days later, Miao Ziyi called the police. When the police arrived, the entire home was smashed to pieces. Miao Ziyi, whose face was covered in blood, was crying at home. She reported it and Liang Chen beat her. When the police found Liang Chen, he was in a nightclub and was delirious. According to Miao Ziyi's confession, Liang Chen has always suffered from mania, with extremely large mood swings. He would often laugh 1 second and start beating people the next. She was miserable about this. Tao Ran originally thought that Miao Ziyi would sue Liang Chen directly, but unexpectedly, she asked for a mental evaluation of Liang Chen at the police station. Tao Ran never expected that after the psychiatric evaluation, Liang Chen was actually diagnosed with mental illness. It turned out that it was Miao Ziyi, who already hated Liang Chen, who struck cruelly again. She endured the humiliation and was with the scumbag again. After her son came back, she began to secretly drug Liang Chen. Those medicines were brought to her from foreign countries by her friends in the scalping circle. All treat mental illness. Liang Cheng took the medicine for almost 2 months, and he became ill even if he wasn't sick. He was in a trance and often saw phantoms. And because he drank every day, he didn't notice it. That day when Liang Cheng went out for a drink, Miao Ziyi took action after sending her son away, leaving the house in a violent mess. She also committed a considerable degree of self-harm and then called the police. Coupled with Tao Ran's exaggerated testimony and the videos of Liang Cheng's repeated violence, Liang Cheng was really sent to mental treatment. By the time Liang's parents arrived, Liang Cheng had already entered a mental hospital. This time, the old couple no longer had the trump card of their grandson. They had no money, no children, no thoughts, and were on the verge of collapse. They went to a mental hospital to see their son, but the two of them met his son's confused and distraught eyes. Finally, the old couple couldn't hold on any longer, and their front and back legs fell ill. Miao Ziyi was not in a hurry to divorce. As a spouse, she could ensure that Liang Cheng would stay with her for a few more years. She often visits Liang Cheng, and often brings him news about Zhang Yian's increasingly successful career and about Liang's mother and Liang's father. He never disappoints, every time he goes crazy. The old man suffered a stroke, and the expenses in the capital were high, so he could only be sent back to his hometown for treatment. The old man passed away soon after, and the old woman's Alzheimer's disease became more and more serious. She called her son or grandson every day. Liang Cheng's eyes were probably getting cloudier because he took too much medicine and was repeatedly stimulated. When Tao Ran went to see him, it took him a long time to recognize Zhang Lan, and then he went crazy again, calling her a devil, and finally got another injection. Tao Ran knew that with Miao Ziyi and Zhang Lan both safe and sound, they might not be able to get out of the house for the sake of their children. Living in pain and not being able to die was the real torture for him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 561. After the show's sister ended, Tao Ran completely helped Zhang Lan establish the persona of a self-improving single mother. She is diligent and motivated, enthusiastic about charity, friendly and sincere to others, and has a successful career and children, which has won public recognition. She won multiple charity and public welfare awards in one fell swoop, and received official certifications as progressive youth and patriotic youth. Coupled with the popularity brought by variety shows, divorces and lawsuits, by the end of the year, she had become a veritable top star. All kinds of endorsements come one after another, invitations to various programs come, and there are endless movie and TV dramas to read. Sister Zhen helped her apply for a first-class appointment with the best salary at Guangguang. She is infinitely beautiful, and within the limelight has overshadowed the first sister Xiaoyun. As a veteran, Tao Ran would naturally not get lost in the emptiness of traffic and honor. She is still down to earth and humble. Zhang Lan wanted to live her life and return to the flower path, and Tao Ran took a solid step for her. Those awards and honors are all recognition of her person. As an actor, you naturally have to gain professional recognition in the professional field to be successful. So Tao Ran almost turned down all variety shows and put all his thoughts into the process of producing various scripts with Zhang Lan. During that time, her only free time was during the Chinese New Year, when she took Coco on a trip to the mountainous area where she had donated. There, she and Coco had a very fulfilling time. Coco completely got out of the haze caused by her father. Left behind children, poor children, orphaned children, disabled children, who is not in difficulty? All sufferings in the world are different. As long as you have hope in your heart, live toward the sun, and work hard, you can always reap different happiness. Half a year later, Taoran's female lead role was also completed. She was quite satisfied with her performance. Luo Jiao's previous drama has also been released. Her role as the tragic sister has been widely praised. Taking advantage of the popularity, she was shortlisted for an award. Tonight is the awards ceremony. Taoran had a hunch that she would leave soon. Zhang Yian's life has been completely turned around. The great revenge is avenged, the future is unlimited, and the daughter is healthy. Such scenery is already a winner in life. After the divorce, Taoran never bought a house for Zhang Lan. Coco lives on campus, and she either stays in a hotel with the crew or in the studio. She didn't sell the large villa that Zhang Lan and Liang Cheng owned before. She felt that it was better to leave it to Zhang Lan to decide whether to sell it or not. In addition, she has given Zhang Lan a month's rest. There is no other reason, just to allow Zhang Lan to adapt to the new life after returning, to ponder the future path, and to absorb the performance experience she left behind. Tonight, she was dressing up in the hotel to prepare for the award ceremony. As usual, she saw a bloody mole on her wrist and subconsciously covered it up with a bracelet. Well, she almost forgot about it. The old witch forced her to use a blood mole, right? If I go back and see that I still don't take her reward seriously, I will probably have to torture myself again. Taoran gritted his teeth and squeezed one of them open. No pain, no itching, nothing abnormal, but there seemed to be something extra in my consciousness. She couldn't help but click her tongue. She concentrated on the points in her mind, and when she opened her eyes again, she found that she was obviously much more beautiful in the mirror than before. Her hair is like ink satin, her skin is like gelatin, and her lips are bright and flamboyant. Very beautiful. But for Taoran, it was too beautiful. Taoran was not sure whether this was a change in his body or a distortion in the phenomena he saw with his eyes. Or is this a mistake in consciousness, a psychological suggestion? Oh, the vampire's trick. She hummed and squeezed another bloody mole. Another, skill in consciousness. She yelled. Xioxia just happened to come in. Xioxia. Taoran looked at her. Xioxia, who was walking quickly, stopped, and her eyes flashed with light, and then turned into a crescent shape. He looked stupid and silly, grinning and not speaking, just looking at her, completely forgetting what he was going to do. Taoran shook his head. These are the two skills given by the old witch. Become beautiful and charming. Absolutely funny. Sure enough, they were a kind of person who could hardly reach the realm of elegance. It reminded her of a vixen. If we were in Great China, the vampire clan would probably be similar to the monster clan, right? She really doesn't care about such abilities. Not even rare. With a snap of her fingers, Xioxia was shocked. Taoran, what's wrong with you? It's so strange, I'm a little confused. Xioxia patted her head. Get ready, the makeup artist will be here in 5 minutes. Huh. Xioxia took a few steps closer and looked her up and down. Sister, you look very good today. Now, did you put on your own makeup? It seems to have a good effect. No, why can't you see the makeup? No, I haven't put on makeup yet. Taoran chuckled, then lost consciousness. Xioxia, who was staring at her, was obviously confused. She rubbed her eyes and found that the beautiful face had disappeared again. Sister, there seems to be something wrong with me. I'm not in the right state of mind. My eyesight is dazzled. You're too tired, go take a rest. Yeah. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Taoran was the only one left in the room. The old witch's ability is controlled by mental power. No wonder the two worlds have only given her rewards recently. If she doesn't have enough mental strength, she may not be able to use these two skills at all. She lay down. In this world, she has been practicing her mental strength. She just used 2 of the old witch's skills at the same time, and she was not tired at all. Mental power seems to be very useful. I have to practice hard when I go back. 2 hours later, the award ceremony officially began. When it came time to award the Best Supporting Actress award, Taoran became less nervous. Finally, in this world, her acting skills have been recognized. Best Supporting Actress, 1. I am just as happy as when I won the award in her world. She stepped forward, leaving her last traces and appeals in this world. Let all women who are oppressed, all trapped, and all women who are suffering unfair treatment stand up bravely, go through the thorns, ride the wind and waves, and work hard. For your own rights and interests, you must learn to protect yourself and the people you care about, and work hard to realize your own value. It's never too late to realize your dreams. We who are brave and positive deserve all the good things. That night, Taoran felt that familiar feeling of detachment again. Due to her strong mental power, her dizziness disappeared in only 2 or 3 seconds this time. There was no pressure or headache. She could feel the changes brought about by her strength. In the void, she could clearly see her soul body. The green mass in the sea of consciousness is obviously more pure than before, and the green color is so tender and vivid. Compared with the last time Lu Yun caught him, the color is much pure and bright. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 562. Not only the color, but the green auras seem to be a lot bigger. Taoran suddenly thought of a question. In this world, spiritual energy was also insufficient, so she did not practice well. So how did this wood spiritual energy grow without the guidance of a monk? So when talking to Zhang Yian's soul, Taoran didn't forget to stare at the green ball with his peripheral vision. Finally, she discovered something strange. From time to time, the green mass would flash with a hint of golden light. It's like green plated with gold. But in the blink of an eye, those golden colors will disappear, as if being swallowed up. Then the green mass will become brighter for an instant, the color will be purer, and the color will be brighter. If I were to make a bold guess, could it be that ball of green is stealing the golden light? Can the power of faith become the nutrient for that wood spiritual energy? She suddenly thought of what old man Chang Feng had said that day: wood spirits carry the vitality of all things and have powerful regeneration capabilities. Elizabeth said that the power of faith can strengthen her abilities. Mr. Bai said that the power of faith can nourish the soul and transform energy. Based on this calculation, it seems logical that the power of faith is used by wood spirit energy. That's not bad. She can earn a lot of faith power in every world. Instead of taking advantage of Elizabeth, she might as well secretly deduct part of it. When I opened my eyes again, it was still the castle. But this time, Elizabeth wasn't there. Taoran felt sleepy from waiting and felt a little drowsy. A gust of wind blew. Taoran, who had his eyes closed, suddenly punched him, but it only missed. The person standing 1 meter away in front of me is not Elizabeth with a bright smile. When we met again, Elizabeth's appearance and complexion improved further, and she was obviously recovering well recently. The response was pretty good. She smiled with big white teeth. Taoran felt slightly depressed. How could she sleep at Elizabeth's place? She was just pretending to be asleep. After her soul became stronger, she could feel Elizabeth's approach. Although she didn't use all her strength, she attacked as fast as possible, but she couldn't even touch Elizabeth's sleeves. The strength gap is too far. What did you want to do to me just now? Why did you do it quietly? Taoran took another step back when he saw her approaching. Seeing you come back, I wanted to greet you quietly and give you a surprise. Elizabeth instantly moved closer to Taoran's neck, and then took a deep breath with an intoxicated expression on her face. The smell of faith made her swallow her saliva. Feeling that the blood mole she had slapped on Taoran's body had been taken away, She smiled with satisfaction. Finally, he was obedient. Performed well this time. It was a surprise to have brought back so much faith. It's just too slow. It's such a waste of time. Why don't you make good use of the skills I gave you? Elizabeth reluctantly sat back in her throne. If it were me, with those 2 skills, who wouldn't be able to surrender to me? If I let this scumbag be devoted to me and obey my orders, wouldn't it mean that I could just ravage him and have fun with him? If he continues to confuse the world, what career can't he win? Something that could obviously be done in a month actually took so long. Tao Ran was speechless. She dislikes this golden finger, okay. But she still remembered Mr. Bai's words, this witch had to be coaxed. Your skill is an advanced golden finger after all. It's a bit laborious and I haven't mastered it yet. She lowered her head slightly. Elizabeth raised her eyebrows and smiled, that's right. It would be great if a mere mortal can use his pitiful mental power and learn some skills. I'm afraid it still takes a long way to become a proficient player. I want to ask a question. I'm in a good mood now. Just ask. Why did you teach me vampire skills? Elizabeth, who was lying on her side, had her head straightened. Why do you think that is? Are you going to turn me into a vampire in the future? Elizabeth was stunned for a moment, then laughed. You humans just like to use your imagination. You've read too many novels and movies. What's the point of turning you into someone like me? It's better to make food and eat it to your heart's content. Thinking of this, Elizabeth's throat tightened again. Keep rolling. I teach you skills, naturally, so that you can complete tasks faster, better and easier. But I've done well now. So far I haven't had to ask you for help. Tao Ran looked disbelieving. Your greatest advantage is that you have many thoughts. Your greatest disadvantage is also the same. Suspiciousness, Elizabeth snorted. It doesn't hurt to tell you. Later, when you are strong enough, I need you to visit the world of vampires. Are you the client? I'm not dead, why would I entrust you with it? Then what should I do? You don't need to know too much now. Elizabeth was obviously impatient and jumped out of her chair. What's the use of asking too many questions? Just think about it. Do you have any chance of winning against my clan, who are physically strong, agile, and extremely talented? So you just need to learn your skills now. After saying that, Elizabeth waved her hand, and another bloody mole appeared on Tao Ran's hand. Go to the next world and practice these basic skills. At least you have to be proficient in using mental power to control them. Tao Ran noticed that Elizabeth was very reluctant to talk about this task in depth, or in other words, she had just asked about something that she could not talk about. Elizabeth always cares about skills every time she meets her recently. It is obviously very important for her to care about her so much. Therefore, the vampire mission she mentioned should be the top priority. This matter is very important to her. But the most important thing for her now is probably related to regaining her strength, right? Tao Ran immediately found a way to exploit the opportunity. Then next time, send me to a world where I can quickly develop my mental power. I think so too. How about I send you to Gyewu? No, to the stars. She could finally make a grand request to go to the high-end world. I made an agreement with Mr. Bai last time to meet in the higher world in the future. In Tao Ran's mind, the most advanced world is probably the interstellar world. It was rare for Elizabeth to frown. That would take too much energy. I can't control anything, not even the circumstances under which I sent you. I'm not afraid of what you're afraid of. What you want. Tao Ran glanced at her. Will the worst situation be worse than the last living world? And you promise that I will choose which world I go to. Do you want to regret it? Or are you not capable enough? You fart. Then send me there. They say that the mechas and weapons in the interstellar world all value mental power, right? Just go. I hope you won't regret it. The ugly words are ahead. When you come back, I will check your use of skills. If you don't make progress, there will be punishment. Okay, I'll be annoyed when I see you. Hurry up. Get out. When Tauran's dizziness came, he heard Elizabeth muttering, "The energy of a trip to the stars is equivalent to the waste of this world just now. I hope this trip is worth it."